Live broadcast of Naruto begins with the movie The Death of Naruto. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101. Kakashi confirmed that his body had recovered. It happened that Naruto and Sasuke also completed the tree climbing training on this day, so Kakashi asked them to return to the team to protect Desna together, because tomorrow is the last day for the completion of the bridge. If the enemy intends to take action, tomorrow is the last chance. At the dining table, looking at Naruto who was covered in dirt, Inari thought of his dead stepfather. He shed tears and loudly vented his fear and past grievances on Naruto, to which Naruto directly retorted without any hesitation. After that, Kakashi had a private conversation with Inari. He told Inari about Naruto's life experience and how he dealt with pain, and calmed him down. Tisk. This brat is so annoying. If it weren't for Kakashi and the others, your grandpa would have been killed long ago. It's understandable. After all, he's experienced that. It's normal to think of Kato as a scourge. Children are like this. They think they see the whole world. This kind of client is the most annoying. Not only can they not help, but they also disturb people's mood. Talking about pain with the Jinchuriki. Although Naruto empathizes with you, he won't be polite. No matter you are children, women, and the elderly, all can be scolded. Kakashi actually went to comfort this brat. Psychological counseling is a supporting service for Konoha's missions, right? Scratching head, whether they are sincere or not, all villages will have to learn this model in the future, otherwise all the missions will be snatched up by them. Alice, why bother? It's not good for everyone to roll up. The next day, Naruto overslept because of excessive training, so Kakashi brought Sasuke and Sakura to the unfinished bridge. As soon as the group arrived at the bridge, they saw several bridge builders being knocked to the ground. Kakashi immediately realized that it was an enemy attack, and the fog that covered the bridge also confirmed his thoughts. It's been a while since we last met, Kakashi. You're still the same, with a few useless brats. He's shaking again, so pitiful. Zabuza's ethereal voice echoed in the mist. He laughed at the trembling Sasuke wantonly, and then the moment he finished speaking, 6 or 7 water clones emerged and surrounded Kakashi and the others. Suddenly I remembered that during the time Kakashi was recovering, it seemed that Sakura had been protecting Desna. Kakashi is such a generous teacher. He let Naruto and Sakura act alone. He wasn't afraid of Kado hiring another ninja. He didn't need Zabuza's level. Any Chunin could handle them. So I always thought it was a miracle that Naruto could live that long. Unexpectedly, Sasuke suddenly stopped trembling, raised the corners of his mouth and sneered in response. I was excited. After that, Sasuke stepped forward with a Kyune, and in an instant, he defeated all the water clones around him. Zabuza appeared and said with a little surprise, "Oh. You can actually see through my water clones. It's a big improvement. Bye, it seems that you have met an opponent." It seems so. Bye, who was following him, responded indifferently. That's it. Isn't this a bit exaggerated? It's just a tree climbing exercise. This thing is to train chakra control. Is the tree I climbed a fake one? Maybe this is genius. With the same training, he can train better than you. Are you angry? Damn it. Isn't it just that he is more handsome, stronger, and more talented? What a boast. Isn't that enough? HMPH. Everyone knows your arrogant personality now. Naruto looked at Sasuke who was in the limelight on the sky with displeasure. After hearing this, Sasuke glanced at him with disdain and retorted, "It's better than your stupidity being known to the whole ninja world." What did you say? Looking at Zabuza and Haku standing opposite, Sasuke said that he would be Haku's opponent, and Zabuza had the same plan, so Sasuke and Haku fought without saying a word. On the other side, Kado sent 2 Ronin to Desna's house to capture his daughter to threaten him, but they were solved by Naruto who happened to overslept. Inari also regained his courage in this attack and opened his heart to resolve the conflict with Naruto. Does Naruto have any special abilities? It seems that every time someone conflicts with him, he can change them in the end. What Naruto says are some very ordinary truths, but you can't resist his full action. This guy wants to prove he really puts his life into practice. It's his ninjutsu again. It feels like this thing is about to become his bloodline limit. Kakashi and Zabuza confront each other while paying attention to the fight between Sasuke and Haku. Haku used Senbon as a weapon to block one of Sasuke's hands, and then used his advantage of being able to seal with one hand to perform 1000 killings water shooting to attack at close range, but he didn't expect that Sasuke's speed had greatly improved after training, and Haku was kicked away by Sasuke without noticing. This boy-named Haku is quite something. He actually seals with one hand. But isn't he a little light? He used 1000 killings water shooting for ninjutsu and Senbon as a weapon. Even if this kind of attack hits, it won't kill the enemy. Is he also the kind of person who is too nice? Although he didn't attack Naruto before. You can show your strength if you don't fight with a mentality of killing the enemy. From the speed point of view, I am still better, Sasuke said to Bai with some pride. Kakashi on the side also said a little bit, you keep talking about brats. If you underestimate them, you will fall. After all, Sasuke is the first newcomer in Konoha, and Sakura is the smartest in the village. Then there is another one, who likes to show off and is the #1 unexpected ninja, Naruto. How can Sakura be the smartest ninja in Konoha? Kakashi, you have to follow the basic law when you brag. Nara expresses serious protest. Please don't speak for Nara. Although Kakashi said that Sasuke is the first newcomer, if you think about it from another angle, doesn't it mean that he just graduated? There is also a problem with Naruto's introduction. Is he praising or criticizing him? Naruto looked at Kakashi with a hollow look. Teacher Kakashi, why do you criticize me in front of the enemy? What does it mean to be a ninja? Ahaha, I just said it casually. Kakashi scratched his head and said, the key is the previous sentence of unexpectedness #1, which is a compliment to you. Really? Naruto looked at Kakashi with some doubt. Chapter 102. Looking at the defeated Bai, Zabuza smiled nonchalantly and said, haha, Bai, you've seen it clearly. If you continue like this, you'll be the one who dies. Yet, it's such a pity. Bai responded while standing up. A burst of cold air surged from his body, making Sasuke shudder all over. Then, before he could react, dozens of ice mirrors instantly appeared and surrounded Sasuke. Oops. Kakashi saw Bai get into one of the mirrors and rushed forward anxiously to stop him, but Zabuza immediately blocked him. I am your opponent. Hey, it's the Ice Release Bloodline Genkei. There are still survivors of the Snow Clan. Zabuza is so lucky to have picked up a Bloodline ninja. Sasuke is in danger now. The bonus of the Bloodline limit is very large when the strength is equal. Unless he can open the Sharingan, he will not be a match for Bai. This is a mirror? What does he want to do? Sasuke looked at Bai's figure in the mirror with a wary face. Well, I'm going to start. Come and see my real speed. Bai's voice was cold, and then he turned into a residual image and attacked Sasuke. Although Sasuke had tensed his nerves and concentrated his attention, he was still beaten without any ability to fight back at Bai's speed. He could only scream helplessly. Sure enough, you can't be complacent too early. Once the opponent gets serious, Sasuke will be in trouble. This before and after comparison makes Kakashi's introduction look like a shame play. It's obvious that the Sharingan is the best way to deal with this kind of situation, but it's a pity that Sasuke doesn't have it. Honestly, how many people who are looking at the sky can see Bai's attack? I'm a Chunin, but I can't see it. Sasuke opened his Sharingan with a cold face and looked at the sky. Bai's figure moving between the mirrors was clearly reflected in his eyes. Huh? If it were me now, I could easily deal with this kind of attack. Kakashi, who was stared at by Zabuza, was unable to help Sasuke. Seeing this, Sakura suppressed her fear and threw a kunai at Sasuke, but was intercepted by Bai halfway. And at the moment when Bai leaned out of the mirror, a shuriken drew an arc from the other side and hit Bai, knocking him out of the mirror. Accompanied by a burst of smoke exploding on the bridge, Naruto posed handsomely. Sakura is so weak at this time, there is no room for her to perform. Everyone has a weak period, this is understandable. Is it understandable? Sakura murmured softly, but there was only one thought in her heart, but I don't want to keep looking at your backs, I also want to fight side by side with you. Looking at the carefree and defenseless Naruto, Zabuza suddenly turned around and threw several shurikens at him, but he didn't expect that Bai actually shot out several senbon to intercept his attack. Bai, what are you doing? Zabuza asked Bai with cold eyes. Mr. Zabuza, let me deal with him, I want to fight in my own way. Bai replied calmly. After looking at him quietly for a while, Zabuza said in a voice that didn't reveal any emotion, are you asking me not to intervene? Bye, you are still so naive. The person who followed Zabuza turned out to be this kind of character. He didn't think of killing anyone, otherwise, with his speed just now, Sasuke would have died long ago. No, if you don't want to kill your opponent, what's the point of this battle? Just surrender directly. Zabuza actually let him do what he wanted. You are not that kind of person, right? While Bai was talking to Zabuza, Sasuke analyzed the opponent's moves based on the wounds on his body, and finally concluded that only he and Naruto could have the chance to break this move if they attacked from both inside and outside at the same time. Hey. I'm here to save you. Naruto squatted in front of Sasuke and greeted him. Sasuke stared at the idiot who had fallen into his trap, and immediately became angry and yelled, "You big idiot. Ninjas must be cautious. Now you've even come in. Damn it. I can't stand you. Hey. I came in to save you. I almost had a cerebral hemorrhage. I'll ask again, how did Naruto live so long? I also want to ask, has he ever killed any of his companions since he kept doing this? You don't dare to be Naruto without some skills, teammates." Looking at Sasuke, who looked at him with contempt, Naruto scratched his head with a guilty conscience. Well, there is a reason for doing this. After all, you have been beaten like that by the enemy, and I am anxious. It's normal. Without the opportunity to cooperate with the inside and outside, Sasuke planned to use fire style to melt all the mirrors, but he never thought that his moves were useless. The same was true for Naruto's shadow clones. Facing Bai's speed that was too fast to be seen, the two were beaten extremely embarrassed. Asshole. How can I die here? I have a dream that I must realize no matter what. Naruto gritted his teeth and looked at Bai intently. Here it comes. Naruto took out the amulet of dream. This move is much more powerful than the shadow clone Rasengan. In addition to the Nine Tails, Naruto has no other trump cards. In Bai's eyes, Naruto and the others are just like stillness. Except for the Nine Tails, I can't imagine how Naruto and the others can turn the tables. The word dream evokes Bai's memories. He said to Naruto and Sasuke while reminiscing, in fact, it is difficult for me to give up all my feelings and become a real ninja. I don't want to kill you, but I don't want to be killed by you, so I can only cut off all my feelings and become a real ninja. This bridge connects everyone's dreams. On the battlefield, I fight for my dream, and you fight for your dreams. Please don't hate me. I want to protect a very important person, work for him, fight for him, and help him realize his dream. This is my dream. For this, I can become a real ninja and kill you cruelly. Let me guess, the person Bai is talking about is Zabuza. No mercy, isn't this just living for Zabuza? Does Zabuza have this kind of personality charm? He speaks coldly, but his eyes are scary to death. There are some problems with Bai. Chapter 103. Sakura cheered for Naruto and Sasuke, but Kakashi stopped her from doing so and explained, even if they managed to crack the ninjutsu, they would not be able to defeat the boy, because they could not abandon their emotions and thus could not become a real killing machine. Zabuza also followed up with Kakashi and said, the kind of ninja village that has been in peace for a long time cannot cultivate real ninjas, because you cannot accumulate the most important killing experience in ninja combat. Kakashi, if those who have been Naruto's opponents heard what he said, they would spit in his face. I have never seen a ninja with such rich emotions. If Naruto really abandons all emotions, it's not a big deal. This guy is the most difficult to deal with. It's his temper to hold on to his target and not let go. Zabuza, you are so awesome. Don't you think there are not many people in Konoha who can be called ninjas? He refers to the post-war generation of ninjas, but killing experience is something that they will always accumulate as they grow up. Did Naruto kill Hyde? The killing experience that Zabuza is talking about is not the experience of killing his own people, right? There are indeed few people in the ninja world who can compare to him. Realizing that the situation is quite bad now, Kakashi held his forward protector and looked at Zabuza. Sorry, I will kill you immediately. Sharingan, do you know anything else? Zabuza looked at Kakashi with disdain, and then he quickly stepped forward with a knife and pierced his palm. Ignoring the pain in his hand, Kakashi said harsh words to Zabuza, but unexpectedly, Zabuza said that even if he lost to him, he believed that Kakashi could not beat Haku. Kakashi, you claim to have copied more than 1,000 ninjutsu, come up with something new. Zabuza is mocking you. The use of ninjutsu depends on the situation, otherwise with Kakashi's chakra level, he would be defeated in the middle of the battle. Zabuza's tone, does he look down on Kakashi or the Sharingan? Both. Isn't Zabuza always talking about breaking the Sharingan? Zabuza has been a famous ninja for many years. Although he says so, he should take it very seriously. Not to mention the copying ability of the Sharingan, just accidentally looking at each other can cause illusion. The Uchiha are famous for stepping on the corpses of their enemies. Hey! Why didn't Kakashi dodge and directly catch Zabuza's attack with his hands? Confusing operation. Zabuza, you actually think that Haku can defeat Kakashi, and his strength is above these two Jonin? Impossible. If he really has this kind of strength, even if Naruto uses the tailed beast chakra, he may not be his opponent. When he was still very young, I taught him all my fighting skills. Even in unimaginable difficulties, he will perform excellently. He has no heart, and even abandoned the concept of life. He is a true fighting machine called a ninja. And his ninjutsu is also better than mine, and he has a terrible blood limit. Zabuza pulled the short sword out of Kakashi's palm and said with a smug look on his face, I really picked up a very useful tool, unlike the bunch of trash you brought. Can you stop bragging? Boring. Let's get started. Kakashi raised his forward protector to reveal his Sharingan, and responded with a cold face. So Haku's configuration is Ice Release plus Zabuza. It should be Ice Release plus Strengthen Zabuza. Zabuza thinks Haku has no heart? From what he just said to Naruto and the others, how can he not have a heart? He clearly has his heart on him. Zabuza treats Haku as a tool. I said this guy can't have the kind of emotions that a normal person has. I feel so sorry for Haku. I don't like this guy. He keeps talking about tools. Naruto suddenly said with a gloomy face. Sakura also nodded in agreement. Although Haku is an enemy, it is too cruel to treat him like that. Kakashi didn't want his students to be too sentimental, especially Naruto, who was known to like to put himself in other people's shoes, so he deliberately attacked and said, we are not qualified to decide what others think. The relationship between Zabuza and Haku sounds quite cold and ruthless, but there are countless similar people in the ninja world. There are still many people who agree with the ninja tool theory now. I hate this kind of thing. Naruto responded sullenly. Kakashi actually told Zabuza not to brag. Didn't you brag before? It's pretty exciting, even though I got slapped in the face right away. Wait, in that case, let me use your words to brag again. You said before, I learned this especially for you. Zabuza said eagerly, didn't I tell you not to use the same ninjutsu against me twice? I was right. I've seen through your boring eye tricks. After saying that, Zabuza used the mist hiding technique to hide his figure. Zabuza is quite naughty, mocking him with what Kakashi said. It's better not to believe that the same ninjutsu can't be effective twice. Some ninjutsu are difficult to deal with even if you know it in advance. For example, shadow clones and Rasengan. It should be multiple shadow clones plus Rasengan. If that's not enough, add Sage Mode and Tailed Beast Chakra. Naruto, the same ninjutsu is useless? I don't believe it. This is the advantage of being strong. No matter what tactics you use, I just need to use all my strength. Although Zabuza may just be bragging, let's see how they crack the Sharingan. Maybe they can use the same tactics to beat Kakashi. Then Kakashi will tell you don't use the same jutsu against me twice. In the thick fog, Zabuza, who is good at silent killing, is like a fish in water in this environment, while Kakashi can't see the enemy at all and can only passively resist the attack by relying on intuition. Zabuza talks about the tactics Kakashi used in the last battle, and bluntly tells his own response method. Not only does he say that he has cracked his Sharingan tactics, but he also puts him under heavy psychological pressure. It feels like this is no different from Zabuza's regular tactics. In addition to making the fog thicker and blocking the vision of the Sharingan, isn't it still relying on his silent killing technique? So just close your eyes plus mist hidden technique to crack the Sharingan. What do you mean just? Do you think everyone can fight with their eyes closed like Zabuza? I can't learn it. As expected, those who can become famous in the ninja world are all very capable. Zabuza's arrangement has indeed blocked Kakashi's Sharingan. It's not bragging. Chapter 104. Taking advantage of Kakashi's weakness in his rush to protect Desna, Zabuza successfully injured him. On the other side, Naruto, with thousands of swords stabbed all over his body, was lying on the ground, and Sasuke was kneeling on one knee in the same state. Although the two were in a mess, they were not on danger of life for the time being. The reason was that Sasuke was gradually adapting to Bai's attack speed. Not only did he avoid all fatal attacks, but he also had the energy to take care of Naruto. I always feel that Kakashi's response was not in place. He was completely played by his opponent. It's not like what Zabuza said, he can't do it without a Sharingan. After Zabuza used the mist hidden technique, my first reaction was to use wind style to blow away the mist. Although it may not be maintained all the time, at least I can observe the enemy's position and close the distance to attack with physical skills. In terms of pure physical skills, Kakashi should be weaker than Zabuza. The 7 ninja swordsmen are good at swords. With a Sharingan, physical skills are not maybe weak, but at least it's a 50-50 fight. Although Bai keeps saying that he can kill Naruto and Sasuke, I always feel that he doesn't have much killing intent when using the Senbon as a weapon. Sasuke is adapting to the enemy's attacks. Has his talent been fulfilled in the battle? Your movements are very agile, but I will make you lose your mobility in the next attack. Bai judged that Sasuke's physical condition had reached its limit, so he used the fastest speed to finish him and Naruto at the same time, but he didn't expect Sasuke to react and dodge his attack with Naruto by a hair's breadth. Sasuke panted heavily, then raised his head to reveal a pair of blood-red pupils. Sharingan. Oh, he's opened his eyes. Are you ready to fight back? It's not that simple. If you follow Zabuza's words, the tactics to restrain Kakashi's Sharingan were analyzed by Bai. Although Sasuke is from the Uchiha clan, he can't possibly compare to Kakashi's experience just after opening his eyes. By the way, Naruto has also completed the tree climbing training, but it seems that his strength hasn't improved much. It's basically the same, with shadow clones and recklessness. It's just that Bai's strength is too strong. If it was in the previous state, he would definitely not last until now. At least his speed must have improved, but he didn't fight with Bai who didn't take it seriously like Sasuke, so the comparison is not obvious. I see, you also have a bloodline limit. Although it was a bit unexpected, Bai still analyzed calmly. It seems that I have to make a quick decision. My ninjutsu consumes a lot of chakra, and there is a limit to how fast I can maintain it. I'm afraid that the longer I drag it out, the more likely my actions will be discovered. If your eyes have caught me, then use them to create an opportunity. After thinking, Bai rushed out of the mirror without hesitation and rushed towards Naruto. What? Going towards Naruto? Sasuke didn't react at all, but his body subconsciously rushed towards Naruto. Damn it. Catch up with me. If you can adapt to Bai's speed, delaying tactics can be a good way. It's difficult. Most delaying tactics fail because they can't outlast the opponent, especially when they are at a disadvantage. Naruto didn't help at all this time. If it weren't for Sasuke, he would probably be seriously injured and dying now. Not every situation can be solved by rushing. After all, you have to learn some lessons. Damn it. Am I not like a burden in this way? Naruto pounded his legs in dissatisfaction. Sasuke was even more upset than him. If you can cooperate well, it won't be like this now. Use your brain a little bit in the future. How can I care so much in that situation? I must go to help first. Although he knew that he was wrong, Naruto felt that his behavior was understandable. So you saw the result. Not only did you not help, but you also made me waste energy to save you. I didn't ask you to save me. The two people who were disgusted with each other snorted at the same time and turned their heads away, not wanting to pay attention to the annoying guy beside them. Kakashi covered the wound on his chest and confronted Zabuza. Zabuza sneered at Kakashi and used the safety of Naruto and Sasuke to disturb his mentality, but Kakashi remained calm and said firmly, I have confidence in them. Naruto's unexpectedness, and Sasuke, as a descendant of the best clan of Konoha ninja. What does Kakashi mean by Naruto's unexpectedness? Could it be that his mischievous personality is an advantage in Kakashi's eyes? I have learned that not listening to orders and messing around can be simplified into the word unexpectedness. Even my teammates don't know what I want to do, so the enemy is even less likely to guess it. This can be considered an advantage. The angle is unique. Zabuza learned Sasuke's identity from this, but he was still confident in his dialogue. The mist covered Zabuza's trace, and Kakashi rushed into the mist and said loudly, Zabuza, you can hear me, I don't just rely on the Sharingan to get by. I have also been in the Anbu, so I will let you see what kind of ninja I was before. I won't imitate you next, just take a good look at my ninjutsu. Zabuza is too confident in his ice escape in his dialogue. This thing is not even ranked in the hidden mist village, why is it used to challenge Uchiha's Sharingan? Kakashi, although you said that you didn't rely on the Sharingan alone to get by, your nickname is Copy Ninja and Sharingan Kakashi. Although it's not widely known, Kakashi also has the title of Konoha Technician. This title sounds a bit unorthodox. Hahaha, has Kakashi ever been a male host? Why does he have such a nickname? So Kakashi also provides that kind of service. Does he accept ninjas from other ninja villages? If so, I want to try his service. Hahaha, I can't take it anymore. When I think of this nickname and what he just said, some strange images come to my mind. Sasuke looked at Kakashi speechlessly. He knew that this guy was much stronger than he thought, but the fact that he got this nickname was probably related to his reputation. After all, he was a man who read pornographic books anytime and anywhere. No one in the team is worry-free. Chapter 105. Naruto came back to his senses in a daze, and just as he opened his eyes, he saw Bai lying on the ground not far away, and Sasuke standing in front of him, scolding him intermittently. Damn, you're in the way, you're in the way. Sasuke, you. Naruto subconsciously showed a happy expression, thinking that Sasuke had knocked Bai down, but when he looked closely, he saw Sasuke's wounded figure. Why are you looking at me like that, you super, invincible idiot? Sasuke, this guy, cold on the outside but warm on the inside. The Uchiha clan can also produce such an outlier. Indeed, when it comes to the first, the impression is usually that of being powerful, genius and aloof. This kind of warm-heartedness is indeed not suitable for Uchiha. Although Sasuke seems to be seriously injured, judging from the fact that he is still alive in the future, it is clear that he still held back. Why? Since he decided to abandon his emotions and become a tool of Zabuza, why did he still hold back? Well, I guess it can only be explained by kindness. Kindness, a word that has nothing to do with ninjas, is used on a person who is considered to be heartless? Are you crazy or am I crazy? Why are you? Naruto's mouth trembled, and he couldn't say a complete sentence. Why? I don't know. Sasuke recalled their past. It was just some insignificant memories, but they were deeply imprinted in his mind. However, Sasuke would not say anything nice on the surface, and still said stubbornly, speaking of which, it's you I hate the most. Then why are you still? I don't need to, Naruto said and suddenly became angry. Who asked you to meddle in other people's business? I don't know, my body couldn't help but. I rushed over, idiot, Sasuke said with difficulty. He didn't really want to admit this inexplicable behavior. It feels better to admit that he is worried about Naruto. Sasuke is so ashamed to say that he hates him, but he risked his life to save him. Sasuke's behavior should be called tsundere. Sasuke's awkward look is in line with the characteristics of Uchiha. Although the Uchiha clan looks cold as a whole, it's actually okay after getting along for a long time. They just have a habit of foul mouth. Danzo sneered at these comments. Some people were actually deceived by the evil Uchiha. Fortunately, he had the foresight to eliminate them early, otherwise Konoha would have become Uchiha's now. It's a pity that if Hiruzen hadn't protected him everywhere, and he had to worry about Uchiha Itachi who had defected, Danzo would have used tricks to get Uchiha Sasuke to the root. Sasuke fell weakly into Naruto's arms, his eyes staring at the sky. That man. I swore. Before killing my brother. I must not die. You must not die. After saying these words, Sasuke closed his eyes and his breath gradually weakened. Naruto stared at him blankly, tears flowing out uncontrollably. He did not hesitate at all in the face of my attack. He died for you. In order to protect important people, he rushed over even though he knew it was a trap. He is really a respectable ninja. Bai slowly stood up and his body got into the mirror again. This is the first time you see your companion die. This is the way of ninja. If Sasuke really died here, Naruto probably wouldn't be the same character in the future. I understand why Shinmu Naruto was so angry when he saw Sasuke defecting last time. With such a life and death friendship, even if the relationship was not good at the beginning, they will definitely become good friends later, not to mention that their relationship was good before, but they just didn't want to admit it. Is it because of this experience that Naruto will rush to the front every time there is danger? It is probably because he thinks he's lucky, so he doesn't take danger seriously. You guy, Naruto stuttered as he looked at Sasuke, and then said loudly and excitedly, don't meddle in other people's business anymore. I don't need you to save me, humph. Who wants to care about you? Sasuke's mouth twitched unnaturally, and he said with a disgusted look, it must be because of the serious injury that I was not clear-headed to save you, otherwise who would care if you died, huh? You'd better remember what you said. If you are killed by the enemy because you want to save me, I will definitely beat you hard laughing at you. Looking at the two people cursing and swearing, and then looking at the discussion about their relationship in the barrage, Sakura's eyes were dull and her mind was a little empty. This. Why do I feel a little redundant? Then Sakura remembered that the barrage had also discussed the relationship between her and Naruto before, from speculating that they were lovers to the relationship between mother and son. Apart from the weirdness of this relationship, she and Naruto are indeed much closer, so in the final analysis, everything is Naruto's problem. Thinking of this, Sakura stared at Naruto dimly, making him shudder subconsciously. The nine-tailed demon fox in this guy's body, can't it be a fox spirit? Shut up. Naruto interrupted Bai's words and gently laid Sasuke flat. I obviously hate you the most. Naruto said the last sentence to Sasuke in a crying voice, then squinted his eyes and said angrily to Bai behind him, unforgivable. I will kill you. The furious heart made Naruto's tailed beast chakra leak out involuntarily. He lay on the ground like a beast, staring at Bai's figure, with sharp teeth and claws growing on his body. His pupils turned into vertical pupils, and red chakra surrounded his body like a vortex. As expected, the only possibility for Naruto to play a role in this battle is to use the tailed beast chakra. This seems to be the first time I see Naruto so murderous. Before, when facing Wulin, Hyde and Wu, Naruto was just angry when facing them. In fact, there was another time when Kimimaro said he wanted to take Sasuke to Orochimaru as a container, and Naruto's state was similar to now. So the key is Sasuke. Naruto's emotions are easily aroused by him. Don't make such speculations, it feels more and more weird. Chapter 106. The escaping tailed beast chakra materialized into the appearance of the nine tails. The strange pressure made Haku, who was facing him, tremble all over. Even Kakashi and Zabuza outside were attracted by this ominous chakra. Realizing that this was the chakra coming from Naruto, Kakashi immediately thought of the nine tails, so he calmed down and carefully sensed it, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. Great, the seal is not completely broken. Although the nine tails chakra did leak out of the seal, it seems that it is not too late. Although Jinchuriki are hated, their advantages in battle are too obvious. As long as they are emotionally excited, they can easily trigger the chakra of the tailed beasts, thereby increasing their strength and catching their opponents off guard. Don't think too much. Do you think all ninja villages have the same level of sealing techniques as Konoha, which can control the flow of the tailed beast's chakra like a valve? In other ninja villages, as long as there is a problem with the seal, the tailed beasts will immediately go berserk. In their place, Jinchuriki is really just a container for the tailed beasts. Unless you can become a perfect Jinchuriki like the 4th Mizukage or the 8-tailed killer bee of Kumagakure, then you don't have to worry about going berserk, and the tailed beasts can even help you break free when you are under illusion. Thinking of this, Kakashi quickly opened a scroll and smeared the blood from the wound on the scroll. While performing the above actions, he said to Zabuza in the mist, Listen Zabuza, we are all out of time. This may not suit you, but I don't want to accompany you any longer. Let's decide the winner now. So Kakashi, you actually have a way to deal with Zabuza. You were just playing with him before. Is it really okay to let the students fight to death while you slack off here? He slacked off until he got hurt. He obviously just came up with a solution. Which is understandable. After all, there are too many ninjutsu. You have to think carefully about which one is the most effective. Anyway, the first step is to find Zabuza's location. There are only a few ways to track him. On Naruto's side, he pushed his hands and feet hard on the ground and rushed towards Bai like a cannonball. On the way, he let out a loud roar and blew away several senbon. Then Naruto grabbed Bai's arm, who didn't have time to hide in the mirror, and then punched the mask on his face hard, smashing the ice mirror behind him. The mask shattered. Bai lost the will to resist and stood there, with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth and his eyes looking at Naruto who was rushing towards him. Zabuza. I can't beat this person. Mr. Zabuza, I can keep up with Bai's speed. Bai's attack is too weak. Although small weapons like senbon have dense attacks, they are too easy to be affected. Zabuza is really bragging. Although Naruto is strong in this state, he can't be stronger than Kakashi. Since even he can defeat Bai, Kakashi is naturally no problem. What will happen next? Naruto's communication with Bai before was quite harmonious, and he is a person that even the enemy wants to understand. How will he deal with Bai? If you don't always hold on to that naive idea, You won't end up like that. Zabuza's voice was indifferent, and he was completely indifferent to Bai's miserable condition on the sky. That's right, sorry, Mr. Zabuza. Bai looked a little lonely, not because of his own defeat, but because he remembered that his naivety might put Zabuza in danger. I'm sorry to disappoint you, I'm not qualified to be the real ninja you said. Bai has thought about helping Zabuza kill all those who threaten him, but for him who is kind, this decision is too difficult. At the same time, the desire to become Zabuza's tool is the driving force behind Bai's actions. If he really abandons all emotions and becomes a heartless person, will he still have the determination to swing the sword for Zabuza? These two are contradictory in themselves. Naruto recognized Bai as the person who talked to him in the woods before, so his fist stopped before hitting him. You are not, then. Naruto's pupils returned to their original state, and he trembled and couldn't do it. Why stop? I killed your important companion, can't you do it? Bai asked in confusion. Hearing this, Naruto turned his head to look at Sasuke, then made up his mind and punched Bai to the ground. Where is your momentum just now? You can't kill me like this. Bai wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stood up again. He noticed that Naruto's face was entangled G's expression, and said, people often make such mistakes, letting go of the enemy who should be killed because of sympathy. As expected, he hesitated. It is difficult for Naruto to kill people he knows, even if he has only met them once. You are so understanding. The killing intention disappeared in an instant. If you pretend to be pitiful at this time, you will probably survive. It depends on the importance of your companions in Naruto's heart, but it is certain that if Naruto knew that Sasuke could be saved, then Bai would most likely be fine. Can you understand it? There is no dream, no one needs it, it's just the pain of living. Bai suddenly changed the subject, with a gentle smile on his face, and said to Naruto, Mr. Zabuza needs useful ninjas, you have deprived me of the reason for my existence. Naruto remembered what Bai had said to him in the woods before, and asked angrily, why do you work for that kind of guy? That guy is working for the bad guys. You only have this one for is he someone important to you? So, in the final analysis, it's the fault of the hidden mist village. Does Naruto think that everyone is like him, and he can find someone he values as long as he wants? For someone like Haku, once he puts all his heart on one person, it's hard for him to find another person he cherishes. Why does Naruto sound like a scumbag, with his heart divided into many pieces? You're still a child, Naruto. Ninjas don't care whether their employers are good or bad, as long as they carry out their missions. If it were Naruto, knowing that his employer was a bad guy, he might beat up his employer in return. It's not possible, it's certain. This guy's kindness is seriously beyond the standard, and he's also naive to death. It's a miracle that he can live to this age. Kindness and innocence. Nagato looked at the comments about Naruto in the barrage. The reason why he could get to where he is today was because of Yohiko's kindness and innocence. Yohiko's kindness allowed him to survive, and Yohiko's innocence made him a god. Although Nagato saw the shadow of Yohiko in Naruto, in order to achieve peace, Nagato would definitely take action against Naruto. If you want to blame someone, blame him for being born in Konoha and becoming a Jinchuuriki. Chapter 107. Bai calmly told Naruto his past story. In the land of water, which regarded blood limit as a disaster, Bai's father killed his mother, and then his father was killed by him after he awakened the ice escape. At that time, I felt that I had to feel that I was such a disaster, and it also made me understand the most painful thing. Bai's expression was a little lonely, that is, no one in this world needs me. Isn't it the same? Naruto widened his eyes and was slightly shocked. To be honest, I still don't understand why Kirigakure persecutes its own bloodline ninjas. Do they think their village is too strong and want to kill some people to cheer them up? I wanted to refute you loudly, but thinking about their past actions, I actually think this is possible. Kirigakure is so unlucky. 2 mentally challenged cages have appeared in succession. To be honest, they can still be one of the 5 major ninja villages after all this internal friction. How strong must they have been originally? Midorumi, who had just become the acting Mizukage, frowned and looked at the sky. These bullet comments did remind her that since the 4th Mizukage was controlled by someone, was the 3rd Mizukage who turned Kirigakure into the Blood Mist village also in the same situation? Unfortunately, no one could answer her question. Kirigakure's chaos had only recently improved, and there was no time or energy to check what was wrong with the 3rd Mizukage more than 10 or 20 years ago. She could only put it aside for the time being and wait for an opportunity to pursue it later. Didn't you tell me that you should become the strongest ninja in the village so that everyone can recognize you? When someone recognizes you from the bottom of their heart, that person will become the most important person to you. Mr. Zabuza doesn't mind my bloodline limit, and he is willing to take me in. He is happy about my hateful bloodline, which makes me feel that it is exactly what he needs. I am really happy. Bai shed tears and showed a happy expression. Because of this, Bai regarded himself as Zabuza's weapon and tool. It was enough for him to be needed. After telling his own mental journey, Bai said to Naruto calmly, "Naruto, please, kill me." Bai has no choice, so he can only grasp Zabuza as his only life-saving straw. Although it is a deformed relationship, Bai looks very happy. Compared to Naruto, he is much better. Is it because many people agree with him that he has not become as extreme as Bai? He is not extreme. He can sacrifice his life for anyone. Because Naruto is greedy and wants to gain everyone's approval. Do we have to become his enemy? Naruto asked in confusion. This is not decided by us. Kakashi leaned his head and looked at the sky. If you plan to intervene in the conflict of Wave Country, you can't avoid encountering them. Although this boy is kind, he is Zabuza's subordinate after all. He will not give up the mission easily. So, if you really decide to intervene in this matter, you must be prepared to kill this boy. Naruto pursed his lips and remained silent. I don't know what he was thinking. Kakashi summoned 8 ninja dogs, and through their sensitive sense of smell and earth escape, they easily caught Zabuza hiding in the thick fog. Then Kakashi told Zabuza's experience of becoming a defected ninja, while extracting chakra to perform his signature ninjutsu. Zabuza, you think I survived only by Sharingan, so this time it is not a copy, my own ninjutsu, let you see it. The dazzling lightning flashed in Kakashi's hands, and Zabuza looked at the scene in front of him in surprise. What? I can actually clearly see the chakra gathered in my palm. Zabuza is a little careless. He doesn't think that no one can find his position in the mist hidden technique. There are only a few tracking methods. Has Zabuza never encountered such enemies before? By the way, Zabuza became a traitor because he assassinated the Mizukage. If we consider that the Mizukage has a problem with his brain, his behavior is justified. If he succeeds, then it is justified, but losers are not qualified to use this word. Zabuza doesn't know Kakashi's Raikiri? Did you record Kakashi's information in the little notebook? Is this move famous? There is no relevant information in our village. I haven't heard of it either. I'm scared to death. I thought I was the only one who didn't know it. Zabuza also widened his eyes like himself in the sky. You actually mastered this kind of move. It seems that I underestimated you, Kakashi. You are too dangerous. The Desna you want to kill is the courage of this country. The bridge he built is the hope of this country. Too many people died because of your ambition. This is not what a ninja should do. Kakashi taught coldly. Despite falling into such a situation, Zabuza still said defiantly, I don't care, I want to fight for my ideals, and there will be no change in the future. I say it again. Give up, your future is only death. Konoha's ninjas like to criticize the enemy from the perspective of justice. Does this make you feel superior? Sarcastic, forget it, I'm too lazy to complain. Zabuza, this guy, doesn't really want to save Kurigakure by assassinating the Mizukage. Ordinary rebel ninjas wouldn't use the word ideal. This guy is more cruel than anyone else when it comes to killing his own people. How could he have such an ideal? Zabuza did kill all the students in his class during the graduation exam, but after that, this type of exam was cancelled. From this point of view, it's not wrong to say that he wants to save Kurigakure. Go ahead, what are you hesitating about? Urged Naruto to act quickly, and seeing his attitude of waiting for his neck to be killed, Naruto seemed to be frightened and shouted loudly, how can you ask me to agree with you? What weapons, what tools, do you exist just to become this kind of thing? As he spoke, Naruto lowered his head in frustration. Apart from fighting, there are other reasons, other things that make him agree with you. Looking at the reluctant expression on his face, Bai smiled gently. When I met you in the forest that day, I felt that we were very similar. You should understand. Chapter 108. How could Naruto have the heart to do that? He wanted to save his enemy even when his chest was pierced. The key to the problem now is that Naruto thought Sasuke was dead. Naruto had never lost a friend in the previous Sky Curtain. Naruto is still hoping that Zabuza has other feelings for Haku. How naive. If we take Zabuza's desire to save Kurigakure as a premise, It's not impossible to expect him to have other feelings. Naruto, who was originally stubborn, understood the other party's intention instantly as if he had opened his eyes. He closed his eyes and brooded for a while, then opened his eyes and gritted his teeth to force himself to make up his mind. Looking at Naruto who was coming towards him with a kunai in his hand, Haku thanked him softly, but soon he noticed something and instantly grabbed Naruto's hand to stop him. Sorry, Naruto. I can't die yet. I didn't expect that Naruto would be so cruel. After all, this is the first time that a companion has been sacrificed. Even Naruto can't help but want to kill him. Huh? No. Bye, you can still move, and it doesn't look like you've been seriously injured at all. So why do you close your eyes and wait to die? With Naruto's current state, I think you can kill him more than enough. Bai disappeared in an instant, and when he reappeared, he was already in front of Zabuza. At this time, Kakashi's attack had already arrived, so Bai saved Zabuza at the cost of having his heart pierced. Zabuza, Mr. Blood splashed all over his body. Zabuza's expression was like a devil, and he said to Kakashi smugly, "My future is only death." Kakashi, you are wrong again. Zabuza is completely indifferent, and you still expect him to have any other emotions in the dialogue. After all, he is a real ninja who talks about tools all the time. Maybe he just puts everything on saving Kirigakure. Is he really trying to save Kirigakure? Maybe he's just after power. Inari, who mustered up his courage, went door to door in the town and asked everyone to gather everyone to resist Kato. Although no one responded to his call in the end, Inari still armed himself and prepared to go to the bridge to help. On the bridge, looking at Bai who was standing in front of him, Zabuza chuckled and said, well done Bai. This boy is dead." Kakashi looked at Bai who showed a satisfied look in front of him and instantly judged his condition. Zabuza did not miss this opportunity and directly picked up the big knife in his hand. Seeing this, Kakashi's pupils shrank slightly. Does he want to chop this kid down too? Zabuza, you are the one who has no heart. Zabuza is a true ninja, and this is the first time I hate the word ninja so much. Let me say something that doesn't fit the atmosphere. Bai died like this? Obviously, several people in the sky were still alive and well after being stabbed in the chest before. Fuck, if you know it doesn't fit the atmosphere, don't say it. The mood that has just been brewing is gone in an instant. This bastard. What does he think of Bai? Naruto gritted his teeth and stared at Zabuza on the sky. Sakura also said with some reluctance, too much, this is indeed a bit too much. Kakashi also frowned. Although he could understand Zabuza's behavior, he still found it difficult to accept such behavior. Sasuke said nothing and swept his eyes over the three people. So, no one cared about him lying there dying, and they all sympathized with the enemy, right? I really found a treasure, and it helped me a lot at the last moment. Zabuza swung the sword in his hand mercilessly, but fortunately Kakashi dodged in time and avoided his attack. Naruto saw this scene, and he was so angry that he trembled all over, especially when Zabuza said this next. Bai's death has given me my freedom again. Kakashi noticed Naruto and began to say, Naruto, just stand there and don't come over. While admonishing Naruto, Kakashi laid Bai's body flat and helped him close his eyes, then looked at Zabuza with cold eyes. Leave him to me. As expected of Zabuza, he is a man like an evil spirit. Even an unrelated person like me feels a little uncomfortable. Naruto should be furious. Since Kakashi helped Bai close his eyes, Fizzy won't blacken Konoha this time. Alice, as a ninja I stand on Zabuza's side, but as a person I stand on Kakashi's side. Sakura also noticed Naruto's appearance. She first expressed her concern, and then asked about Sasuke's whereabouts. Hearing this, Naruto's expression froze, and then he closed his eyes in pain and dared not look at Sakura's eyes. His silence made Sakura realize something. She trembled all over and stood there without moving. Let's go together. This won't be considered a violation of your teacher's orders. Dasna noticed her strangeness and said sensibly, if Sakura didn't mention it, I feel that Naruto probably forgot about Sasuke. After all, he was busy being angry for Haku. Although I know Sasuke is not dead, I still want to say that it's better to care more about your companions than to care about the fate of the enemy, Naruto. If this guy is not a Jinchuriki and was born in a normal family, he is most likely a scumbag who falls in love with every girl he meets. Slander. This is slander. He is just a bit generous. What's wrong with pretending to be a few more people? Sakura and Dasna came to Sasuke, looking at Sasuke, who was covered with thousands of thorns and bruises. Sakura squatted down with lifeless eyes and touched his cheek. It's so cold. It seems that this is not an illusion. I always got full marks in the ninja school, and I could remember hundreds of ninja tips. Every time I wrote the answer, I was very proud. Once there was a question like this, please write the 25th ninja tip, and I wrote the answer confidently as usual. A ninja must have a heart that cannot show emotions under any circumstances. Everything is based on the mission, and no matter when. You can't cry. Woohoo. Sakura lay on Sasuke and cried bitterly, completely losing her usual confidence. Sakura likes Sasuke, you can tell now. Every time she looks at Sasuke, her eyes light up. This kind of ninja mentality should be eliminated. Who among the new generation of ninjas still abides by it? If you feel uncomfortable watching Zabuza doing that kind of thing, it means that this kind of ninja mentality is not suitable for you. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109. Zabuza, who was known as one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, had no rules at this time. Not only did his attacks run wildly without leaving any room for maneuver, he was also completely unable to cope with some of Kakashi's ordinary counterattacks, and both of his arms were easily crippled. What happened to Zabuza? How come his strength has dropped so much, but he can still be hit by Kakashi's attack? Is it because Kakashi's physical skills are too strong? Impossible, he is one of the 7 ninja swordsmen after all. How could he be completely powerless to fight back? Could it be because he was bitten by Kakashi's ninja dog, or did Kakashi secretly drug him? The ninja dog didn't cause serious injuries to Zabuza. As for the drug, unless it is some unique secret drug, most people who have been trained in drug resistance can ignore it, and I haven't heard of any rumors or information about Kakashi using drugs. Mr. Zabuza, who has been following him, is undoubtedly the person who is most familiar with Zabuza, so he immediately noticed that Zabuza's fighting style is completely different from the past. Zabuza was silent and did not respond. He had some guesses in his heart, but he was not willing to admit it at this time. It's really disappointing that we lost so badly. Zabuza. Kato looked very proud, and led a large group of Ronin to block the bridge and intervene in the battle between the two sides. He said that his original plan was to kill Zabuza with human wave tactics when both sides were exhausted, so that he would not have to pay a reward. Looking at Kato's smug and arrogant face, Zabuza suppressed his fighting spirit and said to Kakashi, Kakashi. Excuse me, let's stop here. Since I don't have to kill Desna, there is no point in fighting any further. Kato. What a clown. If it was an ordinary rebel ninja, it might be successful, but it's really boring to want to blame a famous ninja like Zabuza. Kato has a good timing. He appeared as soon as Zabuza's hands were destroyed. This guy couldn't have made a fortune by cheating rebel ninjas. I always feel that his methods are very skilled. Hurry up and pack up. Zabuza will be here soon. We must escape before he can react. Kato asked several followers around him to carry large and small bags and get on several carriages that had been prepared long ago, and fled to the dock without looking back. Since he appeared on the sky, Kato felt bad and asked people to pack their luggage. However, he had too many belongings and had not packed them until now. He could only pray that Zabuza would not catch up so quickly. Hurry up, hurry up. Wherever you want to go, as long as you can go. Suddenly, the carriage that Kato was riding in shook and stopped. Before he could get angry and ask what was going on, a voice that frightened him came into his ears. Where are you going? My mission is not yet completed. Kato. No. Listen to my explanation. Zabuza. Kato, who was frightened and pale, wanted to explain immediately, but before he finished speaking, a flash of knife light flashed in front of his eyes, blood splashed on his head and flew up, and Kato was sent to hell in advance. The beheading sword shook off the blood with a heavy swing. Zabuza asked several subordinates who followed him to plunder Kato's property, and he looked at the sky to watch his own end. As for whether killing the client would affect his reputation, Zabuza has never been a good person. He is a demon with blood on his hands. Even if he is subject to the rules of ninja employment, for this client who wants to take his life and is ready to default on his debt, he can just kill him. Speaking of which, I still have a grudge against this kid. Kato walked to by side with a swagger, and then kicked him rudely. Naruto rushed forward with anger, but was immediately stopped by Kakashi grabbing his collar. Naruto could only shout at Zabuza, "Say something, at least, he is your companion." "Shut up, kid, Bai is dead." Zabuza stood there without moving, and his voice was still cold when he answered. "This kind of rubbish. If I were in the land of waves right now, I would kill him right away." "Huh, it's not your turn, you've probably died under Zabuza's sword now." How pitiful. The other villains exposed by Sky Curtain could still struggle, but this guy is lying next to the bomb. By the way, have Yomi and Hyde been found? And what about Orochimaru in the land of fields? Hyde hasn't been found yet. Yomi was last seen in the land of lightning. I don't know if he was caught by Kumagakure. As for Orochimaru, who wants to die? How can you be so cold-blooded? He has always been by your side. Naruto was so angry at his attitude that his expression was distorted, while Zabuza just kept talking about his definition of ninja. The relationship between us is just that of using and being used. Just like me and Kato. I have said long ago that there are only these two types of relationships in the ninja world. To put it bluntly, ninjas are just tools. I only want his bloodline, not him as a person. There is nothing to miss. Do you really think so? Naruto broke away from Kakashi's hand, ignored his obstruction, pointed at Zabuza and said angrily, "Leave me alone. He is still my enemy." Does Naruto still have expectations for Zabuza? We all know that he can also attack his own people. Do you expect him to show any feelings for the sacrifice of a subordinate? Kakashi is almost exhausted. Naruto, don't add to his workload. Kakashi, he doesn't want to fight anymore, why are you still provoking him? Looking at Naruto, who was speaking up for him, Bai smiled gently. "We are indeed very similar, Uzumaki Naruto. It's great that we won't be enemies in the future." Retracting his gaze, Bai followed Zabuza's footsteps and came to his side to watch the final ending of the two with him. He really likes you. He likes you so much? But you don't care about him at all. Do you really don't care about him at all? He wants to be as strong as you. Are you really treating him like this? Naruto shouted loudly, tears streaming down his face. In order to save you, he even gave up his life? That guy didn't even have his own dreams, but in the end he ended up like this. This is really too cruel. Kid, stop talking. Zabuza didn't look back, but Naruto saw his tears dripping to the ground. Chapter 110. That devil actually cried. Zabuza, who could kill all his classmates without changing his expression, actually cried. Why does he seem even more excited than when Sasuke fell? Compared to Sasuke, Haku is too much like him. Naruto completely put himself in his shoes. What surprised me even more was that even Zabuza was moved to tears by what he said. Anyone who is not a truly heartless person would cry when Naruto said that, but it is still incredible that Zabuza cried. Kid. Shiro decided to fight not only for me, but also for you. I know this better than anyone. He is just a pushover, and it's great to be able to fight you here. Zabuza tore off the bandage on his face and continued with a relieved smile. Indeed. Kid, as you said, ninjas are also human beings and cannot be tools without emotions. I lost. Zabuza borrowed a kunai from Naruto and rushed into the Ronin group, brought by Kado with it in his mouth. So the reason why Zabuza performed poorly and lost to Kakashi just now was because Haku died. In fact, there were signs. Zabuza obviously understood Haku's character from the beginning, but he never corrected him for such a long time and let him use Senbon and various non-lethal tactics. So this guy actually values Haku. He's crying like this. What do you think? I thought he was attacked by Naruto's great principles, just like Wu Wei before. Zabuza looks fierce, but you tell me he's a good person? A good person with lofty ideals and who values the people around him. This guy is at tsundere like Sasuke. Zabuza, Mr. Haku looked at the man beside him in disbelief, and even Zabuza, who is always calm, couldn't stand the words said by himself on the Sky Curtain at this time. He turned his head away in embarrassment and said in a muffled voice, "Don't think too much?" Yes. A smile appeared on his face, and his white cheeks looked at the sky with a blush, and his heart was filled with 10 times more joy than before. The panicked Kato quickly hid behind everyone, but even if he lost his arms, Zabuza used a kunai to kill the Ronin group, and finally cut off Kato's head and sent him to hell. The battle ended, and more than a dozen weapons pierced Zabuza's body. After shocking the remaining enemies with murderous aura, he lost his strength and fell down. Goodbye, bye. Thank you for all the help. I'm so sorry, Zabuza. Hey, Kato, this guy obviously spent a lot of money to hire these scumbags to protect him, and he also planned to use these guys to kill Zabuza. As expected, even if Zabuza didn't kill him, Naruto and the others would not let him go. This guy, unexpectedly, is not bad. Naruto no longer stared at Zabuza, and Kakashi also scratched his head in surprise. I didn't expect that the devil Zabuza was such a person in his heart. Sakura wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and took back the idea that they didn't match before. True feelings transcend gender and appearance. She realized this now. So, what kind of love does she have for Sasuke? Sakura glanced at Sasuke quietly and asked herself in her heart. Look, that's the last entity of a man who's trying to live. Seeing Zabuza's final madness, Kakashi said to Naruto beside him. On the other side, Sakura, who had been crying on Sasuke, heard his voice. Sakura, you're so heavy. Sakura helped Sasuke up with tears in her eyes and expressed her admiration for him for avoiding fatal injuries. Only Sasuke knew that this was not the case, but that Bai had never intended to kill them from the beginning. So that's why Haku wanted to die before. You said it harshly, but you couldn't do it. So you think you're not worthy of being Zabuza's tool, right? If Zabuza had revealed his feelings earlier, this wouldn't have happened. The result won't change. Haku died to save Zabuza, so he deserved it. Naruto also saw Sasuke's safe and sound figure amid Sakura's shouts. Tears welled up in his eyes and he smiled foolishly. But now is not the time to relax. Kaido is dead, and the Ronin group is left without a solution. The human control was ready to attack the exhausted Naruto and his crew, and even destroy the entire town. Fortunately, with Inari's efforts, the villagers spontaneously took weapons and came to the bridge. Coupled with the bluffing of Naruto and Kakashi's shadow clones, they finally drove away these Ronin gangsters. Kakashi, why are you out of chakra again? Are you going to lie down again? Naruto didn't consume much chakra. He can deal with all the Ronin by himself. What about Sakura? She only threw a kunai from beginning to end, so she should be able to fight. What kind of fighting power does Sakura have at this stage? Why do I feel that she may not be able to win against these Ronin? Not really, she is still a ninja after all. Even if she doesn't know any ninjutsu, she should know the three-body technique. It feels a bit uncertain. It seems to be over. Kakashi. Zabuza still has his last breath, and asks Kakashi, who is walking over, do me a favor. I want to see that guy's face again. Kakashi agrees to his request, picks him up and comes to Bai's side. At this time, heavy snow fell from the sky. Zabuza lay on the ground, turning his head to look at Bai's face. You have always been by my side. At least let me stay with you in the end. Raising his hand with difficulty to stroke Bai's cheek, Zabuza shed tears again and finished the last sentence, if possible. I really hope I can go to the same place with you. I actually cried. Just because of a story about a rebel ninja of the mist and his tools. Bai is not a tool. Don't use this word to insult the relationship between them. You keep talking about ninjas and tools, but Zabuza, you have more emotions than anyone else, and you can compete with Naruto. I have been suppressed for so long that even I feel that I am a person without emotions. Chapter 111. This guy was born in a snowy village. Naruto looked at them with tears in his eyes. I see. He's as white as snow. Kakashi watched them leave and wished them sincerely. It's okay Zabuza, you will be together. Goodbye, Zabuza. Haku. Goodbye, Zabuza. Haku. Goodbye, Zabuza. Haku. Zabuza looked at the copy-pasted bullet screen on the sky with a frown on his face and didn't even want to say anything. Hey, looking at his aggrieved look, Haku covered his mouth and smiled softly. The battle came to an end. Without the obstruction of Kaido, the bridge was successfully completed 2 weeks later. Team 7 erected tombstones for Zabuza and Haku. Here, they discussed the meaning of the existence of ninjas. Naruto said that he hated the concept of ninjas and traditional cognition and decided to follow his own ninja way in the future. The mission is over, and Team 7 left after a reluctant farewell. In order to commemorate their contribution, the people of Wave Country named the newly built bridge Naruto Bridge. Everything else is fine, but sticking the beheading sword directly on someone's grave. Oh my god, Kakashi, if you don't want it, give it to me. It's one of the 7 ninja swords of Kirigakure. Don't waste it like this. I don't understand what Kakashi's brain circuit is. Mr. Zabuza, where are we going next? The story ended, and Bai asked Zabuza beside him. Although he knew Zabuza's feelings for him, Bai never thought of changing the way they get along, as long as it stays like this. Zabuza also let out more breath and temporarily suppressed the various emotions in his heart, and replied in a deep voice, "Leave here and rest for a while. The arrangements afterwards remain unchanged. Continue to raise funds to expand the team, and find an opportunity to kill back to the Kirigakure village. Don't you plan to see how Kirigakure responds? After all, everyone now knows that Mr. Zabuza wants to save Kirigakure." Bai suggested, but Zabuza did not have any hope for this. "Those praises are meaningless to us. You should understand the environment in the land of water. They will only chase us according to orders. At this time, the rule of the 4th Mizukage has ended." Terumi Mei, who was busy because of the mess of the previous generation and the lack of manpower, immediately sent people to find them after reading Zabuza's story. After all, such ninjas who care about Kirigakure, are powerful, and well known in the ninja world are quite rare. Madarumi believes that even if they are not as famous as Uzumaki Naruto, Zabuza and Haku can definitely become the new benchmark of Kirigakure village, which can promote the lifting of the blockade of water country and the establishment of diplomatic relations with other countries. At the same time, Desna, who was on his way, also finished reading this story that happened in Wave Country. He felt that he didn't have to rush to Kumagakure village. The actions of these stakeholders were temporarily unknown to the ninjas of various countries. They were rushing to send the last barrage, but they didn't expect that the sky that should have been darkened would appear again. It's not over yet. There are 3 stories today. Mr. Zabuza. In a dense forest, Haku jumped forward between the trees and greeted Zabuza beside him. "Oh, it seems that this is not the world." Zabuza responded with some doubt. "Why are they still Zabuza and Haku? Are they still alive?" "No, they are all buried by Kakashi and the others. The few people around them. I think I saw the forward protector of Kumagakure. The one behind them is Hakura from Sunagakure. This guy died during the 3rd Shinobi World War. Next to him is Kari from Iwagakure. He has been dead for many years too. And Troy from Kumagakure, well, he is also dead. What is this? Corpse party. Although I have consciousness, I can't control my body." Haku noticed the abnormality of his body, and Kari beside him explained, "This is the forbidden technique of impure world reincarnation. Someone has summoned us back to the world again, which means we have to fight next. Even the dead are not spared. I am really infuriated by being used by such a guy." Zabuza spit out angrily. The only thing he could control was his mouth. Summon the dead to fight. Immortal reincarnation? Who invented this evil ninjutsu? In the Pure Land, Hoshirama Senju, who did not find Uchiha Madara, came to Uzumaki Mido. At this time, Tobirama Senju was also here. He looked at the ninja who was resurrected by the impure world reincarnation appearing on the sky, and his face darkened slightly. Hoshirama Senju, who was standing by, said with dissatisfaction after seeing this, "Tobirama, I told you not to study these forbidden techniques a long time ago. Look at you now. These 2 queens of the hidden mist are restless in life and death. Brother, shut up. I left this technique in the Book of Seals. Since it has been activated, it means that there is a need to use it. As long as it is to protect Konoha, a little bit of means doesn't matter." Tobirama Senju immediately spoke back, and Hoshirama Senju got angry when he heard his answer. This kind of ninjutsu that blasphemes life should not exist from the beginning. Do they activate the impure world reincarnation and call us back to help whenever they have something they can't handle? I entrust a future to the later generations, just to let them use their own strength to create a new future, instead of relying on us old guys. I know, brother, don't be so excited. Anyway, it's useless to say these things now. I don't know what will happen in the future of the present world. He didn't feel anything when he was studying, but now that Hoshirama Senju said this, Tobirama Senju also felt that passing on the impure world reincarnation was a bit problematic. Except Zabuza, they are all bloodline ninjas. What kind of enemy needs to mobilize such a large-scale combat force? Do the people summoned have the strength of their prime? I don't think so. Zabuza's murderous intent slightly dissipated, and he frowned as he looked at himself with black eyes on the sky screen. I'm being controlled. How embarrassing. I don't know who the enemy will be. Bai Yi frowned. Even if he has a kind personality, it is difficult for him to accept being controlled by others. Does anyone know which village's ninjutsu of impure world reincarnation is from? You people from Iwagakure should know it. The one on the sky screen was also revealed by your village's carry. This move was created by Konoha's second generation Hokage, Senju Tobirama, Chapter 112. So you are the culprit, Konoha. You are so shameless to keep saying such high-sounding lines when you desecrate the dead, assholes. If Konoha doesn't give you an explanation, I will never let you off. In the previous story, Zabuza and Haku died so beautifully that I cried like a dog, and now you dig them out and use them as combat puppets. You, Konoha, are truly heartless. In the Konoha Hokage building, the third Hokage's hand on the windowsill tightened slightly, and he thought for a moment with a serious expression, and immediately thought of Orochimaru. Did you do it, Orochimaru? What on earth do you want to do? If the third Hokage could think of it, Orochimaru would be no exception. If Danzo didn't leave any tricks, he would be the only one in the entire ninja world who would use the impure world reincarnation. Interesting. What do I want to do in the future? Orochimaru stopped dissecting the body of the Grey Knight and turned his attention to the sky. The impure world reincarnation he has mastered now is not perfect. If he can get some new ideas from the sky, it doesn't matter if he wastes some time. As for the possibility of being hunted down by the entire ninja world, Orochimaru said that in terms of escape and survival, no one in the entire ninja world can compare to him, and the vitality of Uzumaki Naruto is just the basis for him. Zabuza and his companions continued to move forward. Suddenly, several small birds dragged a string of detonating tags from the sky and launched a suicide attack on them. The huge bang destroyed a large forest within a few hundred meters. The person who launched the attack also revealed his figure. It was Sagi riding on a big bird. He gave orders to George behind him and sent a signal. Not far away, the ninja team led by Kakashi also appeared on the sky. Red fireworks are the surprise attack troops. Let's go. Aren't those dead people summoned by Konoha? Why is Kakashi standing against them? The one flying in the sky? He appeared in the Ghost Lantern Castle before, and he is also from Konoha. Amoy. Why are you following Konoha? Not only from Kumagakure, it seems that there are also people from Sandagakure mixed in the team behind Kakashi. Did you notice the forehead protectors? They all wear forehead protectors with the word ninja on them. There are people from the 5 major ninja villages. This is a ninja team. So this is a war. The 4th Shinobi World War. Then who is the enemy? Everyone was shocked by the truth. Judging from Kakashi's appearance and age on the sky, this war happened not long ago. The 5 cages could not sit still immediately. Although there were some explosive materials exposed before, they were definitely not as exciting as the Ninja World War. Contact other ninja villages immediately and prepare to initiate the 5 cage talks. Konoha and Kumagakure issued orders almost at the same time. Iwagakure and Sand Village also made the same decision after careful consideration. Only the acting Mizukage Madarumi still needed to discuss with the village's great elder Yuanchi, but she would soon catch up with the pace of other ninja villages. The war has begun, in a few years. Kakashi murmured in disbelief. Although the 3 young ninjas knew that the matter was serious, they had never really experienced war, so it was difficult for them to understand Kakashi's mood at this time. Are you okay, Mr. Zabuza? Bai propped up an ice wall to block the explosion just now, and said to Zabuza behind him with concern. Don't make such a fuss, Bai. Zabuza looked at the quickly recovering Sho and said, this impure world reincarnation seems to allow the dead to recover continuously. It's really annoying. Can recover continuously, a mortal body. It should be called indestructible body, after all. They are all dead. Who has the heart to discuss what to call it with you now? Isn't it that there are no weaknesses? Can you attack the head and heart, which are fatal points? My God, these people are already difficult enough to deal with. Now they can ignore the attack directly. If they were to be attacked, no one could bear it even if they had to die in exchange for injuries, not to mention that they would not die. From the fact that Bai blocked the attack just now, their strength has not been reduced. As expected, they should all be in their prime. Wait. Since it is a war, there can't be only these few opponents, there should be other enemies. Since these few people can be summoned, why can't more be summoned? No wonder we need to form a ninja coalition. Zabuza and his group discovered the surprise attack force in the sky, and saw Bai condensing behind them. An ice mirror appeared, instantly destroying all the mounts drawn by Sai. After landing, Sanji and others had not yet reacted to what was happening. Zabuza, Haku, Hakura and Kari rushed towards them. Fortunately, the troops led by Kakashi arrived in time to intercept their attack. The previous story, the battle between Kakashi and Zabuza just ended, and now it's happening again. For us, it's just after, but for Kakashi, it should have been several years. The dead opponent has become their enemy again. If he is controlled, Zabuza will not be affected by his mentality this time. I want to see who is stronger between Kakashi and him. After several years, Kakashi should not be standing still. His strength should be stronger than when they first met. Kakashi asked Sanji and others behind him to be alert, and looking at the familiar face in front of him, Zabuza said with a little emotion, "Although I know there will be a battle, I am still surprised that your opponent is Kakashi. I should have been defeated and died on that bridge, but I woke up and was with Haku again. It's really strange. This place seems neither hell nor heaven. This is the real world. It's not the place you should come to." Kakashi responded calmly. Sakura was sweating coldly, looking at the two familiar faces opposite her in doubt. Zabuza. Haku. Why, do you know each other? Wait for Captain Kakashi's instructions. Although the other ninjas around were curious about their conversation, they did not interrupt them, but just stood there waiting for Kakashi's instructions. Sakura must have a deep impression. After all, she was weak at that time, and it was the first time she encountered such a strong enemy. At this age, if Sakura faces Haku, she can smash his mirror with her fist. If Haku still shows mercy, Sakura may die miserably. Why is Kakashi the captain? There are many ninjas in our village who are better than him. Even if it's a comparison of dead fish eyes, Daru is definitely not inferior to Kakashi. Please. What are you arguing about when you don't know anything yet? Since it's arranged like this, the leaders of each village must have considered it carefully, so don't worry about it now. Chapter 113. Zabuza and Haku exchanged a few words with Kakashi and Sakura, and after understanding Naruto's current situation, their brains suddenly shuddered and their consciousness began to gradually disappear. Kakashi, you must stop us. Zabuza said with difficulty, and the uncontrolled chakra and murderous aura mixed with his back formed a demon visible to the naked eye. My consciousness began to blur. A burst of cold air emanated from Haku's body, and Yukang and Korea covered their heads in pain. Erase their consciousness directly and use them as puppets. If the second generation Hokage creates this kind of ninjutsu, he will definitely give birth to a son without an asshole. I'm sorry to disappoint you. That guy didn't leave any offspring. Isn't Senju Tobirama afraid that this trick will be used on himself? He can't control the people in the world after he dies. HMPH. With a cold snort, Senju Tobirama looked at the criticism of himself with a stinky face. Even if he knew he was wrong, he would not bow to anyone except Senju Hoshirama. In another secret place in the Pure Land, Uchiha Madara sneered at the sky curtain. Senju Tobirama created a lot of forbidden techniques, but he did not make good constraints and set conditions for their use, which caused this mess. Even he was one of the beneficiaries. Although he looked down on that guy's tricks, Uchiha Madara did master a lot of forbidden techniques invented by Senju Tobirama. And these became the food for his research. Uchiha Madara believed that as long as he understood the secret of yin-yang escape, he could return to the world even without the reincarnation technique. This is what he has been doing since he regained consciousness. Kakashi asked others to be alert, especially Zabuza, who was good at silent killing. Mr. Kakashi. Please. Please stop us, one more time. Bai looked at Kakashi and said intermittently, I once hoped to be Mr. Zabuza's tool, to protect him until death. But now even Mr. Zabuza is controlled by this technique. It seems that I failed to block your attack for Mr. Zabuza. And this time, let alone protecting Mr. Zabuza. I don't even have the qualifications to be his tool. What is loyalty until death? This is it. This is locked, I said. Zabuza doesn't need to be protected now, he should be protected. You are protecting our ninjas. You are right, but look at the atmosphere, asshole. You are the ones who should pay attention to your emotions. In the current situation, Zabuza and his men are our enemies. Don't treat war as a joke. We can understand each other, but we still have to be enemies. Naruto looked at the sky with some sadness, and Kakashi sighed helplessly and said, there is no way, this is war. No, you saved Zabuza at that time. There was another reason for his death. In addition, Zabuza never regarded you as a tool. Kakashi denied what Bai said and conveyed Zabuza's feelings to him. Kakashi. Don't talk too much? Although Zabuza's words were not fluent, he could still hear a hint of exasperation. PFFT. Ha. Zabuza is not shy. You are so mean to talk about other people's dark history in front of so many people, right? Kakashi, you are so mean. It is a beautiful thing, but when it comes to Zabuza, a fierce guy, the style of the picture changes instantly. Well, understand it. After all, he is a man who dared to express his true feelings after Haku died. If it weren't for Naruto's scolding, I think this guy would not show his true feelings even if he died. Very good, Kakashi. I was going to let you go, but we have to fight each other in the future, Zabuza said viciously. Zabuza, whose character was ruined because of the sky curtain, was depressed. Now there is a punching bag that came to his door, so don't blame him for venting his anger. I won't help you this time. Bai was still joking, and Zabuza became even more depressed. It was Naruto who made Zabuza face himself. Kakashi continued to talk about what happened after Bai's death. Zabuza calmed down and said, that was the first time I was defeated. With a strengthening of control, Zabuza, whose consciousness was about to disappear completely, said to Kakashi. Kakashi made his final request, Kakashi. Don't show mercy. No matter what means, you must stop me. I'm already dead. As a person, I'm already dead. Yes, I understand. Kakashi replied seriously. The snowflake fell on the corner of Shiro's eyes and turned into a drop of water. He gently wiped it away and closed his eyes. Mr. Zabuza. Thank you. The 4 people who were resurrected by the impure world reincarnation lost consciousness. Zabuza said that this was the first time he was defeated. You mean you admit defeat from the bottom of your heart? I see. As long as I don't think I lost, the other party didn't win. I don't know why, but seeing Zabuza's last words made me want to cry. One of the 7 ninja swordsmen, an expert in silent killing techniques, a famous ninja in the ninja world, was controlled by someone unknown and became the opponent's puppet. No one can stand this kind of thing. Captain Kakashi, the man from Iwagakure, has a bloodline limit of explosion release, and is a hunter who belongs to the same blasting unit as Deidara. And that woman is Yakira from Sans Village, who has a bloodline limit of scorch release. Please be careful. The Kurigakure ninja next to him introduced the enemy's abilities to Kakashi. As soon as he finished speaking, Zabuza immediately performed his ninjutsu, the Kurigakure technique, and a thick fog that was so thick that you couldn't see your hand in front of you enveloped the entire battlefield. Zabuza didn't try to attack after being controlled, and he used his ultimate skill right from the start. His silent killing technique is quite advantageous in this situation where the enemy outnumbers us. And Bai won't hold back either. Yu Kang and Sho are both good players. There are only 4 enemies. Why does it feel like the coalition's chances of winning are not very high? No, since it's a coalition, there must be someone who can use wind escape. Someone come and blow away the fog. Even if Zabuza keeps using ninjutsu, can't so many people outlast him? Chapter 114. Under Kakashi's order, every 4 people in the regiment formed a small team to guard against the enemy's attack, but this passive response is often inadequate when facing a powerful enemy. When Yu Kang and Carrie were approached by them, they were either burned into mummies or blown to pieces. And unlike the enemies whose consciousness was wiped out, the ninjas on this side of the regiment were inevitably affected by their emotions after their comrades died. At this time, Bai used his speed advantage to intersperse in the battlefield to harvest lives. Fortunately, Kainzaioli reacted quickly and intercepted him. Yakira can't get close to him at all. If he's touched, he's dead. Carrie, too. He actually tried physical skills with him. Doesn't that Kumagakure know the blasting team of Iwagakure? Those who can go to the battlefield are at least Chunin. There are people who are so scared that they dare not move. You Kumagakure are not good enough. It's definitely a slander. Which of our Kumagakure ninjas is not brave? This is the first time you go to the battlefield. Even if you have the strength, you may not be able to adapt to it mentally. Kakashi also figured out the enemy's attack mode and prepared to launch a counterattack. Unexpectedly, Yakira and Carrie suddenly joined forces to launch a summoning technique to summon 6 coffins. Zabuza also retreated at the right time, holding the beheading sword that was summoned together and standing with the person who walked out of the coffin. I didn't expect it to turn out like this. Kakashi looked at the 6 new figures with a serious expression, and the mist ninja beside him shouted their names in fear. They are the previous mist ninja swordsman 7. This is the impure world reincarnation. I told you before, Kakashi, you can't stick the broken sword on Zabuza's grave. Look, the enemy has used it now. This lineup is amazing. This is the first time I see the 7 ninja swordsmen standing on the same front. In fact, they were still dispatched together during the Third War, but I don't know what happened in the middle. Most of the 7 people died at once, and they have never gathered together since then. No. Can the enemy keep summoning new dead people like this? How many cards do they have in their hands? Is there no limit to this move? Can I summon it whenever I want? Impossible. This technique requires at least some kind of medium or a contract. It can't be unconditional. Otherwise, can I just summon the 6th sage? The 7 ninja swordsmen. Kakashi muttered, and then asked the regiment behind him, Team Tokai, aren't you ready yet? Several Nara clan ninjas appeared on the sky, and they kept the seal gesture and replied, it will be ready soon. Then Kakashi asked the Tsunaga Kuramaku, a female ninja with oil paint on her face and a huge roll of cloth in her hand replied, I have no problem here. So Kakashi ordered others to attack together to buy them time, and suddenly a flood of ninjutsu and ninja tools shot towards the 7 ninja swordsmen. Nara clan, you must not drag your feet in this situation. What tactics will Kakashi arrange? What Maku is holding seems to be a ninja tool for binding. What is binding? It sounds like some kind of binding technique. It's a sealing technique. Yes, if you can't kill them, seal them up. The opponent is not a fool to stand there and let you seal him. It's not that simple. At least you know that the enemy is not invincible. With so many people, you will definitely succeed. Suddenly I feel that the opponent doesn't seem to be that great. Is it necessary to form a coalition? Could it be that the 6th sage has really been summoned? Don't say such a terrible guess. The enemy had no intention of dodging at all. He stood quietly and endured all the attacks from the coalition. After the attack, the damaged bodies of the 7 ninja swordsmen were repaired quickly. Although some members of the coalition were troubled by their infinitely restorable bodies, fortunately, as long as they were sealed, the battle could be over, and they did not carry their most troublesome ninja swords with them. However, this luck ended after Maingetsu Kazuki took out a scroll. Although they were not collected, 5 of the 7 ninja swords appeared on the battlefield. They really have no weak points. Ordinary physical skills and ninjutsu are completely ineffective. I wonder if illusions will work. How can you use illusions on a puppet? Huh? What's wrong with you in Kirigakure? 5 ninja swords are in the hands of the enemy, you are even more outrageous than Kakashi. Keep these things safe for me. These ninja swords were either lost during the Third World War or taken away by the rebels. How can they be found in the messy environment of the Land of Water? The fog thickened again, and the enemy's shadowy figures flashed on the battlefield. The 7 people holding ninja swords rushed into the ninja team and killed everyone. Without the main force taking action, no one could match their enemy. How come these ninjas are not familiar with the abilities of the 7 ninja swords? Can they take on the blunt sword Dao Katori's attack head-on? And there's the explosive sword Fimo. That thing is a handheld bomb. Get as far away from me as possible. It's been years since I last heard of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Who would have thought that a group of dead people could become enemies again? Although Zenguish and Pufferfish Ghost and Hazuki Manayu don't have swords, they're not easy to deal with. At this time, Narutawi told Kakashi that he was ready, so Kakashi passed on the battle plan to them. First, let Taoi's shadow connect with himself, then let the Yamanaka clan ninja who partnered with Taoi possess him to find Zabuza's location, then wait for him to come into contact with Zabuza and use the shadow to control the opponent's actions, and finally let Maki perform the sealing technique to seal the enemy. The plan was arranged. Kakashi used Reikiri to rush towards Zabuza, and was about to hide him, but suddenly Bai flashed in front of Kakashi, and once again blocked the attack for Zabuza at the cost of having his chest pierced. Bai is still conscious? Zabuza actually blocked the attack. Familiar composition, Kakashi's expression was stunned. It shouldn't be Bai's own consciousness. Other famous ninjas couldn't get out of control. How could Bai do it? Love. What love? Don't be too crazy. The consciousness has been erased, and the instinct has nothing to do with these dead people. I am more inclined to believe that it was the operation of the controller behind the scenes. If that's the case, Then what kind of evil taste does he have? Why did he let Bai stop it? I don't know the experience of Kakashi and Zabuza, it should be just a coincidence. Chapter 115. When the enemy outnumbers us, the best thing to use is Zabuza's mist hidden technique. Everyone else can be used as a shield. Haku, who seemed to be determined to protect Zabuza to the death, is now just a puppet. The good show on the battlefield has already begun. This description does not reveal the appearance of the speaker, but based on the previous content, it is not difficult to guess that this is what the person behind the scenes who launched the Impure World reincarnation said. This voice sounds very sinister. No, is it necessary to protect Zabuza to the death? The people summoned by this mastermind are all from the mist hidden technique, except Yu King and Kari. Don't others know how to use the mist hidden technique? Everyone can be a shield, but Haku has to do it. This guy. Zabuza looked at the sky with a gloomy face. Although I don't know who you are, I remember your voice. As an expert in silent killing, Zabuza is gifted in sound collection. As long as he hears it once, he is sure to recognize it when he meets it. Orochimaru, who founded the Sound Village, naturally also had in-depth research on sound, so he immediately recognized that this sentence was said by Kabuto. The Impure World reincarnation was actually initiated by Kabuto. Why? Orochimaru licked his lips curiously. Kabuto became my container. On the battlefield, Kakashi was caught by Bai's arm and his body could not move. Zabuza did not hesitate at all and swung the beheading sword to include both of them in the attack range. Although Kakashi tried his best to dodge, he was still injured, and Bai was directly cut in half. Relying on his immortality, he doesn't need to care about his teammates at all. How can there be such a shameless ninjutsu? Zabuza, whose consciousness was wiped out, has become a real demon. He has no emotions and will only faithfully execute the orders of the controller. According to his original words, this is the most perfect ninja, the perfect tool. Zabuza in this state is obviously stronger than his last battle before his death. It turns out that emotions are a burden to ninjas. Think about Naruto before saying this. It's because of Bai's sacrifice that he can't exert his strength. If he is asked to protect Bai in turn, he might be able to exert 200% of his combat power. At this time, Kakashi suddenly recalled a conversation between Naruto and him after the mission in Wave Country was completed. Naruto pestered Kakashi and said that he still wanted to continue doing A-level missions, but he had just finished a difficult battle. Kakashi, who was exhausted, immediately rejected him. Looking at Naruto's unhappy expression, Kakashi comforted him and said, "Okay, let's consider the A-level mission after we learn more ninjutsu and become stronger. I've completed an A-level mission right after graduation. What a shame. The ordinary team would have died a long time ago. Only Naruto and his team had some strength to complete it by chance. The ordinary team would have announced the end of the mission when they met the Ghost Brothers, and would not have experienced the following. It's not certain if it's Konoha. They like to do this kind of voluntary work the most. Sarcastic. HMPH. Too lazy to do it. Arguing with you. Well, ninjutsu is correct, but I have to find more things I want to protect." Facing Kakashi's puzzled eyes, Naruto explained that Bai brother said that when people are determined to protect important things, they can really become strong. Is that so? Do you think so too? Kakashi asked, and Naruto nodded happily. Well, I think so after seeing Zabuza and Bai. After that, Naruto also said that he liked Zabuza and Bai very much, but the two sides were in a hostile relationship, so he asked Kakashi if he would find it strange. Did you learn the way of ninja and guarding from Zabuza and the others? After all, this is the first time you have encountered such a difficult mission. In addition, the relationship between Zabuza and Haku is indeed remarkable. It is not surprising that Naruto has deep feelings for them. I like them. I like them now too. Ha ha ha, now they are all famous. Can Zabuza's fierce look still scare people? Important things. Looking at the three people around him, Naruto actually didn't quite understand what kind of feeling guarding is. But he was very clear about one thing. He didn't want to lose them. He didn't want the familiar people around him to be like Sasuke on the sky, who was injured or even died in order to save him. Kakashi stopped recalling. Although he was sweating coldly on his face, he still smiled with relief and said to himself, "It's great that Naruto can meet opponents like you at the beginning." After that, Kakashi used Raikiri again, facing Zabuza who was coming straight at him and said, "Zabuza, you hesitated when you chopped at Haku before, because Haku's death made your heart waver. But now it's different, You have become a tool without emotion. End this battle. Kakashi rushed towards Zabuza. Rikari cut off his arm and pierced his chest, and at the same time a voiceover answered the question raised by Naruto in the memory. No, in fact, I am the same. I always feel that there is something wrong with Konoha's education. Is it really okay to express love to the enemy at every turn? What's wrong with that? Anyway, the opponent is dead, and there is no loss in saying a few nice words. This is the afterglow of the winner. Kakashi, this guy, likes to use Rikari to stab people's hearts. What's the matter? That's the vital point. It's normal to attack the heart if you want to kill with one blow. Kakashi and Kenji felt their hearts sink slightly after seeing these comments, and some memories that they didn't want to recall came to their minds. Your death and those tears are the proof of your bond with each other. Kakashi looked at Zabuza calmly, and said the last sentence even though the other party couldn't hear. I also have a lot of things I want to protect as a ninja. Zabuza and Haku's death is one of them, because I am their last opponent. What do you think, Naruto? Zabuza and Haku were sealed, and then the fog dissipated. I understand what Kakashi means, but why does it sound weird? Dead enemies are good enemies. Kakashi definitely doesn't mean this here. Don't tarnish the feelings between opponents. Hey, that's it. What the hell? It's out of context. The story ended without any sign, and Shinmu gave the keywords for the next Shinmu as usual. Start extracting keywords for the next issue. Keywords are extracted based on the speeches in this issue, randomly selected. Confirm. Keywords for the next issue. Shadow, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116. With the end of the third viewing, although the dangerous props such as the Box of Bliss were also exposed, it was still not as shocking as the news of the Fourth Ninja World War. The 5 major ninja villages have initiated intensive contacts, preparing to discuss the events exposed by the Sky Curtain in the past 2 months and possible wars in the future. The meeting place is currently scheduled to be in Konoha, and the specific time still needs subsequent coordination and arrangement. The teams from various countries heading to the Ghost Lantern City arrived at their destination a few days after the Sky Curtain ended. They found the Box of Bliss hidden under the Ghost Lantern City, but they did not find the key gatekeeper Wu Wei. From the point of view that the prisoner's confinement has disappeared, Wu Wei is basically in danger, but there is also the possibility of removing the ninjutsu to disguise his own death, so the search for him cannot be left behind. Fortunately, there are still 4 elders of Kusagakure who stayed. They didn't want to give up their power in Kusagakure village, and they were also worried that they would be hunted down by ninjas from various countries after escaping, so they stayed in Kizuna Castle, watching over the prisoners while waiting for the 5 major ninja villages to deal with them. After all, what the Sky Curtain exposed was the future, and it also revealed that they did not succeed in the end, so it is not impossible to keep them alive. After all, Kizuna Castle still needs someone to guard it. As for such a small matter as wanting to rule the world, who in the ninja world doesn't have some ambitions? After discussion, the teams of each ninja village decided to stay and guard the Box of Bliss for a while. Anyway, this time it can't sink directly to the bottom of the sea like the Sky Curtain. How to deal with it later, including the arrangement of Kusagakure, needs to be decided according to the results of the subsequent talks. After resting for a few days, Zabuza and Haku went to the black market to find new commissions as usual. The advantage of being famous is reflected here. They are asked to complete several times more commissions than before. However, how many of them are real commissions and how many are plots against them is up to Zabuza to judge. Zabuza does not hate this change but is happy to see it happen. With more tasks, they can make money faster. As for those who want to cheat, he has killed them with his beheading sword. But there is one thing that Zabuza finds hard to accept. Originally, according to his appearance, it can be said that he can stop crying like a child. But since the Sky Curtain exposed his rich inner feelings, those fearful eyes in the past have not completely disappeared, but they are rarely seen on others. Not only that, whenever he and Bai appeared in front of others, even if they just passed by on the street, there were always people around pointing at them, and Zabuza was so angry that he almost drew his sword to cut people several times. Bai was quite used to it, and even signed autographs for several girls, and Zabuza also provided calligraphy several times. In order to avoid trouble, Zabuza and Haku had to use the transformation technique to change their appearance before going out. It is unknown how long this response will last. There is also new news about the people who were exposed by the sky curtain in the previous times in the ninja world. For example, there is news that Wong Quan has been captured in the country of thunder, but he is temporarily detained in Kumagakure. He will be sent to the Ghost Light City for detention after all the value of his body is dug out. Although no one has found their traces of hide, the fleet that stopped in the sea without docking has been found and taken back by Sans Village. After all, only Sans Village in the ninja world urgently needs to get Rare's life force to improve the environment and increase income, otherwise Kazuka Draza really doesn't have to do anything and has been working as a gold digger there. And Orochimaru, it's not that no one has gone to the country of fields to try their luck in finding the Sound Village, but these people either get nothing or disappear directly. After Orochimaru defected from Konoha and betrayed Akatsuki, he was able to make his career successful because of his life-saving skills. Those with less skills were just serving him a favor, so now, except for Akatsuki, basically no one is interested in Orochimaru. Team 7 completed the escort mission without any danger. The process was similar to what Kakashi thought. Only Naruto remained the same. After the others changed their appearance, they attacked Naruto several times. In addition to letting people know what will happen in the future and some undisclosed secrets, the appearance of the sky curtain is most important for the abilities of the characters. Whether it is now or in the future, they are all exposed, which is a very fatal thing for ninjas. You know, intelligence is often the first goal of combat, and the abilities and moves of ninjas are the top priority. The winning rate of battles with the intelligence of the opponent can be greatly improved. Therefore, after thinking that they understand Naruto's current strength, many rebel ninjas in the black market are eager to take action against him, but they are still waiting and watching for various reasons. This escort mission during the mission, the strongest enemy encountered by Team 7 was a Jonin from a small ninja village. Without Kakashi's help, the three of them cooperated and finally defeated the enemy after several near-death experiences. This is the record after Sasuke has opened the double Magatama Sharingan and learned Chidori, Naruto has undergone physical training, and Sakura has learned the simplest healing technique. It can be seen that they still have a long way to go in the future. On the way back, Kakashi took them on a detour to the Land of Waves. As expected, after Kato disappeared, the villagers spontaneously started to build a bridge. When Team 7 arrived at the Land of Waves, it was almost completed. Team 7 had a conversation with the Desna family. Although they did not have the experience on the Sky Curtain, they were still very grateful to Naruto and told him that the bridge would still be named Naruto Bridge in the future. With gratitude, Team 7 left the Land of Waves and returned to Konoha. Ah, that's great. You didn't do anything, but everyone is praising you. Inari also regards you as an idol. You must be very proud now, Naruto. Sakura teased Naruto, who was walking in front, holding his head with both hands and grinning. Well, don't say that. Although Naruto didn't do anything, it is indeed his credit that the Land of Waves was saved. Let him accept this praise. Kakashi said for Naruto while looking at the intimate paradise. That's right, and not only Uncle Desna and his family have a better life, Zabuza and Haku will not die. Maybe we can meet them in the future. Naruto said with shining eyes. It was the first time that he was praised by so many people in reality. He still hasn't calmed down. HMPH, if you have time to be happy about this kind of thing, you might as well think about how to train next. If I hadn't saved you before, you would have been chopped in half by that Jonin. Sasuke just couldn't stand Naruto's smug look, and he couldn't help but want to belittle him. But Naruto was in a good mood at this time, and he disdainfully refuted, HMPH. You are just jealous. Suddenly, Naruto stopped. Kakashi noticed his movement and looked up, then his pupils shrank sharply, and he instantly blocked in front of Team 7, with cold sweat on his face, and said the name of the visitor. Orochimaru. Chapter 117. Today. I really gained a lot. Orochimaru, wearing a comfortable green kimono, leaned against a big tree by the road. If it weren't for the evil snake eyes and the compelling aura emanating from his body, he would look like a young man going out for an outing. With his slender eyes slightly narrowed, Orochimaru's eyes moved away from Kakashi and swept through Sakura and Sasuke respectively, and finally fell on Naruto. In an instant, an invisible pressure fell on the three young ninjas. In a trance, they seemed to see the scene of their hearts being pierced and their heads being cut off. What is this? Question mark. Illusion? Exclamation mark. No. It's just pure murderous intent. Sasuke's body trembled slightly. He opened his Sharingan and tried desperately to regain control of his body. This guy is Orochimaru, the legendary three ninjas. Exclamation mark. Damn it. Move for me. Why can't my body move? Naruto was in the same state as Sasuke. Although his brain was constantly issuing commands, his body was frozen in place and could not move. As for Sakura, she was almost unconscious, and only a little instinct was left to support her body from falling. Kakashi naturally felt Orochimaru's murderous intent. He let the chakra in his body surge out to block the enemy's pressure. At the same time, he quickly pushed up his forward protector and used Reikiri to attack. Listen. Now. Run in the opposite direction immediately, run as far as you can, and don't look back. I will hold him back to buy time. Kakashi said very seriously. He knew the gap between himself and the opponent. Even if he tried his best, he could only deal with him for a while. Therefore, he tensed up and exerted his full strength from the beginning. He is different from the enemies you have encountered before. Even those opponents who appeared on the sky can't compare. This opponent can't be defeated by persistence. Do you understand? Naruto and the other two recovered their mobility a little, and they also heard Kakashi's explanation clearly. The opponent's strength was so strong that they could feel it without fighting, so even Naruto didn't speak up to oppose Kakashi's arrangement. Is this okay? Now the whole ninja world knows that one of the most prominent labels of Uzumaki Naruto is never give up. Why not give it a try? Maybe you can beat me. Orochimaru said in a hoarse voice, but his tone was somewhat indifferent, so Kakashi had no intention of talking to him at all. Act the moment I take action, and never hesitate. Kakashi lowered his eyes and stared at Orochimaru opposite him. Now, run! Exclamation mark. Accompanied by Kakashi's order, Naruto and the other two instantly jumped back and rushed into the forest, while Kakashi rushed towards Orochimaru with lightning in his hand. Let's play with you first. Licking his lips, Orochimaru completed the seal in less than a second, and a fire dragon flame bomb came from behind and attacked Kakashi. In the forest, Naruto, who was jumping between the trees, suddenly stopped. Sasuke and Sakura noticed that his movements also stopped, and then heard him say, "Are we going to run away like this? Let Kakashi hold that Orochimaru alone. What do you want to do? Now is not the time to show off. Have you forgotten what Kakashi said before? Don't think the person on the sky is you now. With our current strength, we can't do anything to the legendary ninja like Orochimaru." Sasuke said unhappily, thinking that Naruto wanted to say something, but it turned out to be the same words as before. "Yes, Naruto. With our strength, even if we go back, we will not only be unable to help, but will become a burden to Kakashi-sensei. Let's obey Kakashi-sensei's orders and go back to the village to find reinforcements." Sakura also felt that Naruto wanted to be a hero again, and hurriedly advised, "I understand what you said. I know I don't have the strength of the future, but is this the reason for us to abandon Kakashi-sensei and run away?" Naruto clenched his fist unwillingly, his fingers almost piercing his palm. "I am very weak, and I don't have the experience of the Uzumaki Naruto on the sky, but our goals are the same. I want to be that kind of person. I don't want to abandon my companions. I want to go back to save Kakashi-sensei. Hey!" The tail end. Sasuke quickly stretched out his hand to stop Naruto, but he was still a step late and let him rush out. Seeing this, he angrily hit the tree and said to Sakura, "Sakura, you go back to Konoha to report first. I will go with that idiot to see." Sasuke disappeared before Sakura could speak. She looked around helplessly and wanted to catch up with the two. But she kept recalling the shock caused by Orochimaru's murderous aura, and her body trembled reflexively. Resisting the fear, Sakura closed her eyes and took a few deep breaths, then suddenly opened her eyes and followed the two people's footsteps. The battle between Kakashi and Orochimaru is still going on. Orochimaru did not use his usual Kusanagi sword, did not use the Shadow Snake hand, did not use the Psychic Snake, and did not use all the iconic ninjutsu. He only used the three ninjutsu of fire, earth and wind to deal with it. Thanks to this, Kakashi maintained a 50-50 situation. However, this evenly matched battle situation could not last long. Not only was Kakashi's chakra relatively low, but his combat experience was still a certain gap compared to that of old ninjas like Orochimaru. I saw that Orochimaru's unexpected earth escape Huinquan swamp slowed down Kakashi's movements, and then a move of the chaotic lion hair technique instantly tied him up. As long as he thought about it, he could easily break his bones. Just when Orochimaru opened his mouth to say something, a loud shout came from behind him. "Let go of Kakashi-sensei!" Naruto rushed out without hiding and pointed at Orochimaru and said, "I don't care if you are a Sannin or a traitor. If you want to hurt Kakashi-sensei, you have to get past me first. Naruto, you." Although he was very touched that Naruto could come back to save him, this completely disobedient character really made Kakashi very helpless. Kakashi has a scale in his heart. The most important thing for Team 7, including him, is undoubtedly Naruto or the Nine Tails in his body, so under normal circumstances, Naruto's safety must be prioritized before considering other issues. But Naruto often rushes towards the most dangerous places, which makes it difficult for Kakashi to be scared every time. After Naruto sprayed a sentence at Orochimaru, he crossed his sword fingers with his hands and made a cross seal, and shouted, "Multiple shadow clone technique." The dense orange figures instantly spread throughout the surrounding space. Just a simple visual estimate can roughly conclude that the number is at least more than 1,000. Chapter 118. Haha, it feels quite spectacular after seeing it with my own eyes. Orochimaru looked at the shadow clones around him with interest, pulled the corner of his mouth and said, "This tactic really doesn't matter if others know about it, so what do you want to do next? How many shadow clones are you going to use as bait cannon fodder? What is the key attack? Have you learned the Rasengan?" Resisting not to tremble in the momentum of Orochimaru, Naruto gritted his teeth and took out the kunai, ready to attack the enemy with the shadow clones. Suddenly, Kakashi, who was tied up and unable to move, said something strange. "That? Lord Jiraiya, this is about it." As soon as these words came out, the momentum of Orochimaru disappeared immediately. Facing Naruto's confused eyes, he showed a happy expression that destroyed his image on his face, and then he turned into a strong man with a forehead protector with oil characters and white hair down to his waist with a bang. What? Naruto made 3 doubtful questions, watching Jiraiya let Kakashi go, completely unaware of the situation. Sasuke and Sakura, who were lying in ambush in the forest and ready to strike at the right time, also came out after Jiraiya revealed his true form. They were not as stupid as Naruto. They roughly guessed what was going on after looking at the current scene, so the two rolled their eyes unhappily. "I told you a long time ago that you can't pretend to be that guy. Look, you were recognized in an instant." Tsunade and Shizune also came out of the opposite forest. While scolding Jiraiya, she stared at Sakura carefully, making Sakura, who was being watched, subconsciously straighten her body and look nervous. "Well, anyway, I just want to test the level of a few young people. It doesn't matter as long as this is accomplished." Jiraiya shrugged and said. Kakashi covered his Sharingan again, looked at Jiraiya and asked, "What do you think of them, Master Jiraiya? Except for the fact that this kid showed up to save you in a swaggering manner, his other performances are acceptable." Jiraiya pointed at Naruto and said sternly, but then changed the subject, "But I can give him extra points for following his own ninja way. I like this kid very much." It was not until then that Naruto realized that there was no enemy at all. Looking at the figure in front of him, who had appeared several times in his memories on the sky, Naruto listened to his comments on himself with some dissatisfaction. "Damn it. You actually played tricks on me like this. I'll show you how powerful I am. Watch this. Seduction technique." Puff. Kakashi led Team 7 and Jiraiya back to the village together. Perhaps it was fate. Naruto and Jiraiya got along very well when they just met, although they were arguing. The whole journey was spent in the quarrel between the two. Although Tsunade had no motivation, she also briefly examined Sakura's medical knowledge reserves and prepared to make a targeted learning plan for her after returning to the village. Just when they thought that the rest of the journey would be spent like this, the sky curtain lit up again after 7 days. Here it comes, only 7 days this time. It's like this every time, starting without any signs, and then ending without any signs. Maybe after a few more times, we can figure out the pattern of the sky curtain, so we don't have to wait bitterly every time. By the way, the intelligence of the sky curtain caused the 5-cage talks to be initiated last time. I wonder what explosive news will be exposed today. I just want to know the news of the war now. It would be great if there is content about the 4th Ninja World War. The last story was incoherent and I have no idea what happened. I didn't expect that Tsunagakure betrayed Konoha. Wearing a white shadow robe and a bamboo hat, Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a deep voice to the 4th Kazekage, who was holding him hostage behind him. Concluding an alliance is just a trick to make the opponent relax. The boring game of competition ends here, and the wheel of history is about to roll. The fourth Kazakage, who was wearing the same clothes, looked at Sarutobi Hirozen with a cold look and responded. Oh, Konoha and Tsunagakure have fallen out? They were so close after that they wore the same pants. This guy must be the fourth Kazakage, Raza. He dared to hold the third Hokage hostage with a kunai. Who gave him the courage? It's really very brave. Raza said the game of competition. If I guessed correctly, the time point they were in should be the Chunin exam. As far as I know, the joint Chunin exam of Konoha and Tsunagakure will be held in Konoha this year. Holding the Hokage in Konoha? Raza, you are a Kazakage. Are you planning to leave Konoha? It was a plan we made before, but judging from the future development, we are likely to fail. Luosha said calmly, as if holding the Hokage hostage was not a big deal. But it's no wonder, after all, even the elders of Kusagakure wanted to evade punishment on the grounds that the incident had not happened yet and was destined to fail. He was a Kazakage. Could Konoha still hold him responsible for this? In the end, he apologized to the third Hokage, as long as he didn't have to pay compensation. On the Konoha side, after seeing that he was held hostage, the third Hokage was not angry, but said helplessly, "It seems that we have to communicate with Sans village first, otherwise the 5-cage summit will not be held." Knowing that the fourth Kazakage wanted to start a war, the third Hokage persuaded him earnestly, "Lord Kazakage, we should avoid violence and solve the problem through negotiations. It's not too late now." Unexpectedly, the fourth Kazakage suddenly changed his voice. The familiar voice and address cheered up the third Hokage. "Haha, have you become demented because of your age, Sarutobi teacher? Hey, it's not Kazakage, it's Orochimaru. Have Sand Village and Itagakure united? Orochimaru is really a good disciple of the third Hokage. Orochimaru, this guy, actually has such a plan." Jiraiya frowned, looking at the sky with a dangerous look in his eyes. "We haven't seen each other for more than 10 years. Who knows what he is thinking now?" Tsunade didn't seem to care much, but her eyes didn't move away from the sky. Rosa frowned in confusion. "Why is it Orochimaru pretending to be me? Is there a change in the plan? The third Hokage is getting easier to talk to as he gets older. He's been kidnapped and still wants to persuade him verbally. Since the third Hokage took office for the second time, he has habitually compromised. Kumagakure has provoked him several times over the years, but he just acts as if nothing happened." Chapter 119. The familiar name made Sarutobi Hirozen's pupils shrink, while Orochimaru looked at Gar, who was taken away from the examination room under the tower, and said with some regret, "Really, I wanted to take Sasuke away when Gar caused chaos, but it seems that everything can't go as planned." Orochimaru withdrew his attention and laughed at Sarutobi Hirozen, because his stupidity caused Konoha to fall into such chaos. HMPH. I should have taught you that you can't know the outcome of anything until the end. Sarutobi Hirozen squinted at the man who had torn off his face and revealed his true face, Orochimaru. Orochimaru thinks highly of Sasuke, and joined forces with Tsunagakure just to take him away. If that were the case, Orochimaru wouldn't be holding the third Hokage hostage here. There must be other purposes. Orochimaru actually used the disguise technique to deceive Konoha's perception. Can this little trick work? Unless it's a special transformation technique like Yugakure's 100 transformations. In this case, the disguise technique is stronger than the transformation technique. Orochimaru, that pervert, likes to use human skin to make a disguise mask. Our village suffered a lot during the war. Looking at this familiar disciple, Sarutobi Hirozen said with a sharp look, "I know this day will come sooner or later, but it's not that easy to take my head. I told you a long time ago that you should determine the candidate for the fifth Hokage as soon as possible." Orochimaru ignored the look of the third generation and said with a face of defiance, "Because you are going to die here, third generation." Okay, I like watching this kind of drama the most. Beat me hard. Does Orochimaru have any grudge against the third generation Hokage? Is their relationship so bad that he has to be killed? I heard that when the fourth generation Hokage was selected, the third generation did not choose Orochimaru. That's it. Is Orochimaru so petty? Ignoring the random speculations in the barrage, Sarutobi Hirozen smoked his pipe silently, feeling a little emotional in his heart. This day has finally come. Did you appear after such a long absence just to kill me? Orochimaru looked down at the battles that broke out in Konoha, with a tear in his eye. The third Hokage saw this and teased Orochimaru whether he was sad because he hurt his teacher. Unexpectedly, Orochimaru stabbed the palm of his right hand with a kunai. He wiped away the tears from his eyes and said that he was just sleepy. Then he let go of the arm that was around the third Hokage's neck and turned around and walked a few steps away. Orochimaru is lying here. After all, he's going to kill his teacher and destroy his former village, which will affect his mood to some extent. It's hard to say. This guy is a cold-blooded snake. It's not surprising that he does anything. Or is he trying to make a break with the past? If his goal is just to kill the third Hokage, there is no need to let him go and give him a fair chance. Wouldn't it be easier to just stab him with a kunai? I say. Don't take the third Hokage seriously just because he is old. How could Orochimaru use a kunai to kill him? Stab him to death. The third Hokage looked at his back and said in a deep voice, I know you are not a person who will act out of resentment. You have no purpose and no motivation. Well, there is still a purpose. If you have to say it, it is very interesting to see things that move. It is boring to be motionless. Orochimaru took off the hat on his head and threw it away. He turned around and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and said, a windmill that can't turn, although it may feel good sometimes depending on the mood, is basically worthless. So now I want to use the wind of Destroy Konoha to turn the windmill. Humph, you really haven't changed at all. Sarutobi Hiruzen replied as expected, so, what Orochimaru means is that he thinks Konoha has not made much progress under the leadership of the third Hokage, so he destroyed it to motivate them. It feels worse than the reason of resenting the third Hokage. What a crazy idea. The villagers of Konoha are all screwed. So even though Orochimaru is a traitor, he still cares about Konoha, right? Ninjas nowadays all seek contrast, right? Contrast will make ninjas popular. Zabuza is the best example. Orochimaru is envious and wants to try it. Orochimaru looked at the ridicule of himself in the barrage and smiled coldly. It is not just Konoha that has stopped turning. After sitting in the position of Hokage for a long time, the once high-spirited third Hokage is now just a rotten old man. In this case, let him, his disciple, give the third Hokage a decent ending. Fortunately, because of the sky curtain, the windmill of Konoha has started turning again, otherwise it would be even if there is no Tsunaga cure, Orochimaru will find another way to implement his plan to collapse Konoha. As former partners, Jiraiya and Tsunade can more or less guess what Orochimaru really thinks. The third generation still understands that guy. I have never understood what he wants to do. Jiraiya said with a sigh. Even though he had pursued Orochimaru for a while, he still didn't understand him as well as Sarutobi Hiruzen. Tsunade pouted indifferently. He likes Orochimaru very much, and his expectations of him are higher than the two of us. Although he understands Orochimaru, the third generation does not accept his approach. For the third generation who regards all the people in Konoha as his own children, hurting them is the bottom line that cannot be touched. If you still have the same idea, then come at me. The third generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen can also become the wind and blow the windmill. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Orochimaru on the sky, thinking calmly. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Orochimaru simultaneously took off their shadow robes and revealed their combat outfits. An ambush team that stayed outside the barrier was waiting for Sarutobi Hiruzen to attack the caster inside the barrier and then provide support after the barrier was opened. However, they did not expect that the Sound 4 would suddenly cast another barrier to separate them from Sarutobi Hiruzen, leaving the battlefield completely to Orochimaru and Sarutobi Hiruzen. Seeing that the support could not enter, Sarutobi Hiruzen was not disappointed. After all, the level of the next battle was not something that ordinary ninjas could easily intervene in. The Anbu of Konoha just watched from the outside, and didn't think of other ways. The Sound 4 cast the 4 purple flame formation. The level of this barrier technique is quite high and it is not so easy to open. No matter how difficult it is, we should think of a way. At least it is better to find the people from the barrier class than to squat there as a spectator. Did the Hokage deduct their wages? He doesn't take him seriously at all. Chapter 120. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Orochimaru stared at each other, their powerful chakra vibrating the air around them. Their aura almost became physical, breaking a large area of bricks and tiles under their feet. Suddenly, they both stepped forward at the same time and rushed towards each other. Sarutobi Hiruzen first tried to use the Shuriken Shadow Clone technique, but Orochimaru directly used the forbidden technique of impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru can be resurrected. So Zabuza and Haku were summoned by him last time. So it was Orochimaru, you. You started the Fourth Ninja World War. Well, according to what Orochimaru said before, he hates things that are still. Could it be that the reason for starting the war is to make the ninja world rotate? You're crazy. I just want to live a peaceful life. Who wants to rotate all day like you? Why are those who have powerful strength all mentally ill? They either want to conquer the world or destroy the world. Can they be quiet for a while? Orochimaru twisted his fingers in a strange way. The situation in the ninja world is obviously not static yet. He should not have the leisure to start a war. If he really did it, there are only two reasons. Either something happened in the future and the ninja world stopped developing completely, or he was conducting some kind of experiment and needed the entire ninja world as a test site before he could start a war. They actually used summoning techniques to defend, and these corpses are two coffins that rose from the ground blocked Sarutobi Hiruzen's attack. He recognized what moves Orochimaru had used at a glance, so he changed his offensive anxiously. Damn it, we must stop the third one no matter what. Under Sarutobi Hiruzen's suppression, the third coffin did not appear. Orochimaru hid behind the two coffins with a nonchalant look on his face. After all, even if there were only the two in front of him, it would be enough for the third generation to drink a pot. How are you going to deal with them, Sarutobi teacher? No. Third generation Hokage. Orochimaru showed a happy smile on his face, and at the same time the screen was given to the two people he summoned, who were the first generation Hokage Senju Hashirama and the second generation Hokage Senju Tobirama. Oh my. This. Orochimaru is really good at playing. He actually summoned the previous Hokage and the previous Hokage. Could he really summon the Six Paths Sage? The first and second Hokage, the one who was suppressed by the third Hokage is the fourth Hokage. What a pity, otherwise we can see the four Hokage appear at the same time. Did the sky show that Naruto had seen the fourth Hokage before? Could this be the case? Maybe. How should we fight? Even if the fourth Hokage is not summoned, the third Hokage can't be the opponent of the previous two Hokage. And they are also immortal. Old guys like the third Tsuchika Jinoki and Kokuzu shook their heads after seeing the appearance of the Senju brothers. They didn't think the third Hokage would have any chance of winning. The second Hokage seems to be the third Hokage's teacher, right? Orochimaru is really bad-humored. Is he planning to let the third Hokage experience his feelings too? Ha. I suddenly remembered that this forbidden technique was created by Senju Tobirama. Sure enough, it's retribution. Senju Tobirama looked at himself and his elder brother who appeared on the sky with a frown on his face, while Senju Hashirama kept chattering on the side. Look, what did I say? Now we are all summoned, and as enemies of Konoha? Oh no. Konoha will not be dismantled by me, and Monkey, do you have a chance to survive? Senju Hashirama looked at the sky with a worried look on his face. Seeing this, Senju Tobirama let out a sigh of helplessness and explained, don't be too nervous, elder brother. Judging from the future development, Konoha will not have any problems. If I'm not wrong, then the one Orochimaru used should be the incomplete and pure world reincarnation, so even if we are summoned, our strength will not be at its peak, and Sarutobi can't stop us. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, his voice slightly cold. Even this forbidden technique has been performed. You are really getting more and more twisted, Orochimaru. Long time no see, monkey. Senju Hashirama just regained consciousness and recognized the third generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen at a glance. Senju Tobirama was the same, and he also teased his age. Well, it's you are also old, Sarutobi. I didn't expect to meet you two brothers again under such circumstances. It's a pity. Sarutobi Hiruzen said to the two with a sullen face, please be aware of it, the first generation Hokage. The second generation Hokage. First generation Hokage. Second generation Hokage. The third Hokage had really good eyesight. He was only a few years old when he died, but he could recognize him. Even if you can't recognize his face, you can sense his chakra. Are you sure about the third Hokage? I remember the first Hokage seemed to be called the God of Ninja. How strong is he? There are not many ninjas who have seen the first Hokage take action and are still alive. Anyway, I only know that he is good at using wood release and is a rival of Uchiha Madara, the Shura of the ninja world. Immortality reincarnation, is it this young man who summoned us with this forbidden technique? It's amazing. Senju Tobirama turned around and praised Orochimaru, while Senju Hashirama looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with some reluctance and said, Sarutobi, in this case we will have to take action against you. That's enough of the old people chatting about family matters. It's almost time to start. Orochimaru stepped forward to stop their chatter, took out the talisman and put it into the brains of the two people. Sarutobi Hiruzen could only watch his actions and said angrily, "How dare you fool the dead and play with time? There will be no good end. Why does the second Hokage feel so relaxed? Now they are the enemy of Konoha. After all, he is the creator of the impure world reincarnation. He knows that he can't resist, so he has this attitude." Ha ha ha, third Hokage, you said such things in front of the second Hokage. Isn't it just calling a monk a bald man? If you really think that the ninjutsu that blasphemes the dead should not be left behind, as a Hokage, can't you just delete it directly? Humph, how can such a powerful forbidden technique be destroyed? The third Hokage's idea is probably that one day Konoha can use it when it encounters a crisis that it cannot cope with. At that time, it doesn't matter what it blasphemes. Ha! He didn't expect that he would be used on himself, and his own disciple. The Hokage of Konoha is so miserable. He has to worry about all matters when he's alive, and he will be called back to protect Konoha at any time after his death. This is a real lifelong job, and he will not let it go even after his death. Chapter 121. Under the effect of Orochimaru's talisman, Hashirama Senju and Tobirama Senju, whose faces were covered with cracks and traces of dust, gradually returned to their original appearance. Orochimaru looked at his work with satisfaction, grinning at Sarutobi Hiruzen across from him. Can you feel the sense of accomplishment and joy of hurting the person who once called you teacher? I prepared this scene to let you understand this kind of joy, so just enjoy it. It's different from the last time of the impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru also specially added the operation of restoring his appearance. Do you want to use this to attack the third Hokage? He looks no different from a living person. Killing people and destroying their hearts, this guy's mind is really abnormal. Both are rebels, and both are attacking cages, but Orochimaru is much more powerful than Zabuza. Well, after all, he is an old senior, and the third Hokage is indeed old. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not respond, gritted his teeth and rushed forward, and the first move was a fire dragon flame bomb, and the raging flames swept over. Facing the attack, Senju Tobirama calmly formed a seal, and a stream of water swirled around his body to easily block the flames. Then he changed his hand seal, and the water array wall used for defense transformed into a water dragon bullet to launch a counterattack. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen used the earth flow wall in time to block the attack, Senju Hashirama then used the wood-release tree world descent to easily break through the defense and tied him up. Is the second Hokage really the Hokage? Isn't he a fake Mizukage? Although the second Hokage can't use wood style, his water style is the best in the ninja world, even better than the Mizukage of Kirigakure. Senju Tobirama let him down. Although he looks very powerful, this is not his level. Senju Hashirama is the same. Although I haven't seen him take action with my own eyes, our village's record of him is that he has the power to move mountains and seas. It's impossible for him to be so weak. You still say he's weak with such a performance? Is that so exaggerated? If you have ever been attacked by a tailed beast, I wouldn't think like that, but the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, caught all the tailed beasts by himself and distributed them to other ninja villages, so how powerful he is, this simple comparison will always be there. Could it be that Tobirama Senju did something? Or is the impure world reincarnation technique not complete, and the strength of the summoned person was discounted? This is more reasonable, otherwise the third Hokage would definitely not be able to stop Orochimaru, and the entire Konoha would probably be razed to the ground. HMPH. This defective product is not even a fraction of Hashirama's. Uchiha looked at the sky and sneered. As Hashirama Senju's nemesis, he could say that no one in the entire ninja world knew the other's strength better than him. If Hashirama Senju used a big move like the tree world birth during his lifetime, he could easily change the map of Konoha several times the size, instead of just drilling through a small earth wall like now, and even not piercing the roof. It's too much of a stretch. You're already old, so just go and enjoy retirement. What's the point of showing off? Tsunade said bluntly. Jiraiya looked at her unhappily and said, if you knew the old man was old, you should have returned to Konoha earlier. If you became the fifth Hokage, he could have retired. Why do you want me to be the Hokage? Who cares about this? Don't arrange everything according to the development of the sky. Tsunade choked back directly. Naruto, who had been listening to them, couldn't help but interrupted and said, hey. You guy, I don't care what kind of Sannin you are, Don't say bad things about the third-generation grandfather. And you look down on the Hokage. I really don't understand why the village chose someone like you to be the Hokage. Huh. What are you talking about, kid? Tsunade looked at Naruto with a frown. If it weren't for Jiraiya holding her back, she might have punched him. Naruto was also held down by Kakashi and Sakura to apologize, but from his attitude, he was quite unconvinced. After finally calming down Tsunade, Jiraiya knocked on Naruto's head and said, "Don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Tsunade is not only the disciple of the third Hokage, but also the granddaughter of the first Hokage. She knows their strength best. She didn't say bad things about the third Hokage. As for the arrangement of the Hokage, it is decided by the village's top leaders. It is not your turn as a Jonin to comment. Let's discuss this issue after you have the strength of Uzumaki Naruto, who learned the Sage Mode last time in Shyammu." Although Naruto was still very unconvinced, he also knew that he would not change anything if he continued to make trouble, so he stopped talking. Tsunade wanted to mock him a few times, but she learned from Shyammu that Naruto human nature, coupled with the memory of the dreams that the two people she loved the most had told her, she also lost interest in talking. The bound Sarutobi Hiruzen pressed a thick tree root in front of him and performed the psychic technique, summoning the Monkey King, Sarumo. Orochimaru. It really became like this. As soon as he appeared, Sarumo saw the figure of Orochimaru below. He turned his head and said to Sarutobi Hiruzen behind him, "It's so sad, Sarutobi, it's all your fault for not wanting to kill him. Next, I'll take action." Sarutobi Hiruzen responded decisively. Although Sarumo felt that he was showing off, he still cooperated and turned into the Ruai Jingubang to remove the restraints on Sarutobi Hiruzen. According to this monkey called Sarumo, did the third Hokage have the chance to kill Orochimaru before? It might be when Orochimaru defected. At that time, the third Hokage was only in his 50s, still in his prime. Orochimaru might not be his opponent. What a special summoning beast, it can also turn into a weapon. It doesn't look like a simple transformation technique. Although the first and second Hokage can't use their full strength, the third Hokage's performance is not very good. I didn't see him use his best composite ninjutsu at all. After all, he has the title of ninjutsu professor. Orochimaru also became interested. His tongue turned into a long snake, and then a Kusanagi sword spit out from the snake's mouth. Sarutobi Hiruzen rushed towards Orochimaru with a Ruai Jingubang. Although he was stopped and kicked away by the first and second Hokage, he still took the opportunity to stick the detonating talisman on their feet. As the detonating tag detonated, one hand and one foot of the two people who were trapped by the impure world reincarnation were blown to pieces, but in just a few breaths, the two people's broken limbs were restored to their original state. Sure enough, we must find a way to solve the souls bound by the impure world reincarnation, otherwise it will be meaningless. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at this scene with a solemn expression. In this case, we can only use the trick of the fourth Hokage. Chapter 122. Orochimaru's ninjutsu is really disgusting. I looked at his information. This guy likes to spit things out of his mouth. Either snakes, swords, or himself. What does spitting himself out mean? I don't know. The information says it's a substitute technique, but I can't think of a specific picture. Strength and other things are easy to say, but the immortality is the most difficult thing to deal with. No attack can do anything but seal it. Can it be solved by killing the caster himself? It should be possible. But in this case, killing the caster is as difficult as sealing it. The fourth Hokage's technique. The fourth Hokage is best known for the Rasengan and the Flying Thunder God. Are there any other famous ninjutsu, or mortal reincarnation? Even if you kill Orochimaru, you can't cancel this jutsu. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen clasped his hands together and looked at the two Senju brothers opposite him. In that case, the first and second Hokage, please forgive me, I'm going to use that move. Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen panting and changing his posture, Orochimaru leaned on the sword and said, "You are old, I have never seen you so painful. Hey, it's really pitiful that you, a man who has supported Konoha for decades, will lose to me because of your old age." Orochimaru's original words are the god of ninja, which conflicts with the subsequent settings so it is not used. While Orochimaru said this, he raised his hand to press his face, then pulled it down violently to tear off the skin, revealing a beautiful and fair female face. What the hell? This guy is a woman. So Orochimaru is a woman. This information is worth writing down. No. There must be something wrong with this. Wait. I remember that guy named Kimimaro said before that Orochimaru seemed to have created some immortality technique that can replace the body container. That's acceptable, but why is it a woman? Orochimaru's interests are very unique. Orochimaru looked at the various comments without changing his expression. He didn't even have the interest to show his emotions to these people who were bound by gender and couldn't understand the truth. This guy is completely crazy. The Orochimaru we know no longer exists. Tsunade frowned and said to Jiraiya. Unexpectedly, Jiraiya stroked his chin, looked at the appearance of Orochimaru's new body seriously and commented, it's quite beautiful. This guy is also quite knowledgeable. Huh. Do you want to listen to what you are saying? Tsunade looked at him with a look of looking at trash, and Jiraiya waved his hand quickly. Just kidding. Just kidding. I thought Orochimaru was dead when I gave up looking for him, but I didn't expect that he still had such an obsession with Konoha and the third generation. Looking at the strange and young face opposite, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little confused, but when he said that he was Orochimaru, Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to think of something and asked sternly, could it be that you have already practiced that forbidden technique? Hey, I have suffered a lot in the more than 10 years since I left the village. Orochimaru showed a chilling smile on his face. You have become a terrifying alien. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who faced him, could best understand this horror. I didn't choose you to be the fourth Hokage because of your twisted thoughts. The third Hokage was stunned. The disciple he hadn't seen for many years even changed his gender. Although Orochimaru's face is pretty, but those snake eyes and the unrestrained smile, ugh. I feel like I'm going to have a nightmare tonight. Perverted, that's really perverted. The third Hokage has good eyesight. Otherwise, if he becomes Hokage, I can't believe what Konoha will become. Sarutobi Hiruzen fell into memories. In the gloomy and humid underground space, Sarutobi Hiruzen led two Anbu into a closed room. The first thing he saw when he entered was dozens of human bodies that were cut open and fixed to the wall. Some broken limbs and organs were stored in various containers, and Orochimaru was standing in front of the operating table in the middle of the room. Orochimaru didn't seem surprised that he was discovered, and as the accompanying Anbu told him, many Chunin Shinin and even Anbu disappeared in the village. In the end, it was found that these were all done by Orochimaru in front of him, so the third Hokage asked him why he did this, and Orochimaru gave them such an answer, developing ninjutsu. The people of Konoha should be thankful that Orochimaru was not chosen as the fourth Hokage, otherwise, all of you will become his experimental subjects now. I feel that Orochimaru is a bit blatant. He even arrested the Anbu. He really thinks the Hokage is dead. No wonder Orochimaru became a traitor. Judging from the atmosphere in Konoha, this guy is naturally incompatible with Konoha. You are really developing forbidden techniques. After learning about Orochimaru's purpose, Sarutobi Hiruzen asked in a deep voice, what do you want? Everything. Orochimaru answered decisively. He spread his hands with flames burning in his eyes. I want to learn all the ninjutsu in the world and understand all the truths in this world. It's just that it takes a long time to learn all the ninjutsu and get the truth. The smile on Orochimaru's face gradually faded. For me, the lifespan of the body is too short. Even if I am called Hokage, everything will be over once I die. Hearing Orochimaru's description, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately understood his plan, and Orochimaru also said without hiding that what he was studying was the art of immortality. Finally, I heard a villain with different ideals, not the stereotyped world conquest. Are you sure you heard what he said? He wants everything, which is bigger than conquering the world. With such ideals and goals, why would he start a war? It wouldn't be to experiment with some ninjutsu. If that's the case, we should arrest him and execute him orally. The ninja world can't tolerate such a psychopath. How greedy. Does all ninjutsu include blood limit? Does Orochimaru want to become the new six-path sage? This kind of person has no scruples at all. For his own goals, he will kill even his partners. He is much more dangerous than the likes of Wu Lianhide. I remember he said these words to us before, Tsunade said with some emotion. Jiraiya nodded, his expression serious. Maybe this is his ninja way, but we have to stop him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123. Orochimaru explained the principle of the technique of immortality. And Sarutobi Hiruzen also realized belatedly that Sasuke was the next container he had chosen. A reincarnation technique that allows you to live forever by taking over other people's bodies? Whose face and body are yours? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked with disgust. Hearing this, Orochimaru smiled grimly. It should be the second person. I plan to cultivate Sasuke to the way I like before taking him away. Orochimaru is quite ritualistic. He has to cultivate before using him. No wonder Naruto remembered the future Sasuke. This kind of person is just too idle. He doesn't eat the good things quickly and wastes time here. He will fail. Being too good is not a good thing. It's easy to be targeted by such a pervert. Sasuke got goosebumps all over his body. He originally thought that if he couldn't get the power to kill Itachi, he would take Orochimaru as the last choice, but now that he knew he was so perverted, this idea was immediately reduced by 99%. Don't go there unless it's absolutely necessary. Orochimaru changed his face back to the previous one, and looked at the third generation with a wicked smile on his handsome and fair face. If I want you to regret your life and curse your fate and die, it's better to use this face. Even at this time, when seeing this familiar face in front of him, Sarutobi Hiruzen was still a little stunned. Orochimaru did not miss this opportunity and controlled Senju Hashirama to launch the wood release again. The tangled and thick tree roots filled the entire barrier. Fortunately, the Saruman reacted in time and split dozens of golden hoop sticks to launch the diamond prison wall to protect the third generation. Although he is already in his 50s, Orochimaru's appearance can still be described as handsome. What a waste, he is so handsome, but he is a pervert, and he doesn't even do men. Well, since Orochimaru can change his body at will, what about his original body? If you don't want it, can you give it to me? What do you want to do with his body? That kind of puppet is easy to use. Who wants to use? I can't put the room as a decoration. The old snake pill as a disciple is more in line with the definition of the ninja. The more you can't mix like the ninja in the wooden leaves. How can I hesitate at that time? Holding the window sill with a cigarette fight, the ape Flying Day was not satisfied with himself, even if he was in the battle. Based on the personal feelings, Ape Face Sun cut to the ape magic apologies. Although he had discovered Orochimaru's malice and ambition a long time ago, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who pitied his talent and ability, still held on to hope that he would inherit his ninjutsu and thoughts, so when he found out that Orochimaru was secretly conducting human experiments, he couldn't bear to kill him and let him escape. It turns out that Orochimaru was born with a pair of snake eyes. I thought it was caused by some ninjutsu he practiced. It feels like a kind of sad beauty, the kind of temperament that would be very popular in a ninja school. From the perspective of the third Hokage, it is really hard to accept that the disciple who wanted to be trained as the successor did such a thing. Sarutobi Hiruzen understood his past mistakes and was determined to correct them at this moment. He used the limited chakra to perform the shadow clone technique to create 2 clones, and then form 9 hand seals to summon the god of death. This is what the fourth Hokage said, that only those who have made a contract with this jutsu can see the god of death. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought as he looked at the strange phantom behind him, holding a Buddhist rosary in his hand and biting a short knife. The god of death, it must be fake. How can the god of death exist? It should be just the effect of the jutsu. The person who created this ninjutsu called this phantom the god of death. From the previous development, this jutsu is a sealing jutsu, in the name of the god of death. I want to see what it can do. Sure enough, this trick was used to end it, but judging from the previous story, I should have failed. Sarutobi Hiruzen exhaled. It was good to make up his mind. As for the result, he would not force it. He would leave everything to the next person. Suddenly, Hashirama Senju used the illusion of darkness. A dark circle instantly enveloped the entire barrier. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who could not see anything, could only bear the attacks of the Senju brothers in vain. Orochimaru's voice echoed in the darkness. He criticized Sarutobi Hiruzen and said that as long as he, the Hokage who compared himself to the pillar of Konoha, was killed, the plan to destroy Konoha would be completed, but Sarutobi Hiruzen did not think so. He firmly believed that even if he died, the new Hokage would inherit his will and continue to protect Konoha, just like when he took over the burden from the first and second generations. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen cheered up and shouted loudly, Orochimaru. Next, I will perform a secret ninjutsu that you have never seen before. Take it, sealing technique, Shiki Fujin. The people of Konoha really like to talk about great principles during battles. I was quite moved by the words of the third Hokage, a leader who chose to sacrifice himself to protect the village, and the will to protect the village passed down from generation to generation. But think about it carefully, damn. Which village is not like this? The third Raikage died in battle to cover his fellow villagers, and then the fourth Raikage took over the heavy responsibility and worked diligently to keep the Cloud Village strong and prosperous. You said it very well, but I want to refute you. Not every village is like this, at least the Kirigakure village is not. Ha. You are still exposing the Kirigakure's past. This is entirely due to the Sky Curtain. If it wasn't for the Sky Curtain, who would know what happened when the third Hokage sacrificed? Oh, those Anbu squatting outside the barrier know. By the way, the keyword of this issue is shadow. If it's still all about Konoha, I won't accept it. It probably depends on whether the corresponding story is exciting enough. If it is the fourth Raikage, what would it be? A story about cheating other villages' bloodline limit ninjas in the ninja world. Ha. If this is true, I'm very interested. Slander. It's all slander against our Kumagakure. Chapter 124. In the darkness, Hiruzen Sarutobi's two shadow clones relied on their intuition and sense of smell to successfully capture Hashirama Senjo and Tobirama Senjo after blocking several attacks. Although he was covered in wounds, Hiruzen Sarutobi did not loosen his hands on the shoulders of the two men, allowing the arm of the god of death to pierce through his soul, and then extended from the middle of his body into the bodies of the two brothers, directly pulling out their souls. Thanks to this, the dark walk technique was broken, and the first and second generations regained consciousness briefly. After apologizing to the third generation, their souls were dragged into his body and sealed. Although his skills have declined due to his age, he is indeed experienced. He was able to block the attacks of the first and second Hokage, even though he could not see anything. And there are only two shadow clones. This technique called Shiki Fujin doesn't seem simple. It should be a ninjutsu that requires a certain price. From the eerie shadow summoned, plus the name of this ninjutsu, it seems wrong no matter how you look at it. It is likely that the price is his life. Tied to death isn't the soul of the third Hokage on God's chest. Is it necessary? Doesn't Konoha have other sealing techniques? The wives of the first Hokage and the fourth Hokage are both from the Uzumaki clan. Don't take the Hokage lightly. Since the third Hokage decided to use it, it means that only this trick can deal with Orochimaru in that situation. It's really a ninjutsu I haven't seen before. It seems that I still have to go to Konoha later. Orochimaru looked at the sky with shining eyes. He was the most irresistible to this kind of temptation. As for the fact that his plan on the sky was about to fail, Orochimaru did not have the slightest emotional fluctuation. Anyway, destroying Konoha and taking Sasuke away were just incidental. As long as the death of the third Hokage could make the windmill of Konoha turn, it would be fine. What's more, that happened in the future and had nothing to do with him now. Orochimaru tried to regain control of the Senju brothers, but failed and could only watch them being sealed by the third Hokage. The two shadow clones of Sarutobi Hiruzen disappeared on the spot, and only his real body and Orochimaru were left in the barrier. The final battle broke out. Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the Ruai Jingu cudgel and fought with Orochimaru holding the Kusanagi sword. Finally, after a wave of attack and defense, taking advantage of the moment when Sarutobi was entangled by the snake, the third generation rushed forward and grabbed Orochimaru's shoulders. The arm of the god of death used his body as a medium to instantly reach into Orochimaru's body. Pure physical skills. Orochimaru is no match for the third Hokage. He is still strong and capable even though he is old. The third Hokage is fighting with his life at stake. This Shiki Fujin is likely to be at the cost of his life. From what the third Hokage said to Orochimaru before, we can see that he is determined to die. Grandpa Third is going to die. Naruto muttered in disbelief. Although this guy has not yet made it clear, it is not difficult to see from the overall atmosphere and the speculations in various comments that things are moving in this direction. Jiraiya, who was walking beside him, had no intention of lying to appease him, but said directly, the lack of combat power of the village is one of the reasons, but more importantly, the third generation wants to make up for the mistakes of the past. He probably thinks that everything that happened in Konoha is the reason why he let Orochimaru go. Orochimaru, whose soul was captured, could not move. At the same time, he also saw the god of death behind Sarutobi Hiruzen. Realizing that something was wrong, Orochimaru quickly swung his sword to control the Kusanagi sword that was blown away, and attacked the third generation from behind. The Kusanagi sword flew over Orochimaru wanted to use the gap when the third generation avoided the attack to break free from the restraint of the soul, but he didn't expect that he stood there motionless. Although the restrained Sarutobi tried his best to stop him, the Kusanagi sword still pierced the third generation's chest. As expected of a man who aims to master all ninjutsu, Orochimaru's ninjutsu is really bizarre. He can control the Kusanagi sword to attack remotely even when he can't move. Should Orochimaru be praised here? He made a good situation like this. It seems that Orochimaru was not serious from the beginning. In order to let the third Hokage feel the feeling of hurting his teacher, he only summoned the first and second Hokage. Obviously, he could have summoned more. I don't believe that Orochimaru doesn't have other materials. Damn, why didn't you dodge? Orochimaru asked Sarutobi Hiruzen in front of him with an ugly face. This trick must be handed over to the god of death to work. This is a sealing technique that requires life. The blood-dyed red beard, Sarutobi Hiruzen showed a fearless expression and looked at Orochimaru. So I don't need to dodge, I will die anyway. This is the technique used by the hero who saved this village before, and now, you will also die under this move. Could it be? The Nine Tails was sealed by this move. The words of the third Hokage made Orochimaru immediately think of the fourth Hokage. The Nine Tails was sealed by this move 12 years ago. That's not right. If the fourth Hokage used this move to seal the Nine Tails, then the Nine Tails should be in his body. How can Naruto be the Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Maybe there are other uses for this move? Anyway, there is no doubt that Naruto is the Jinchuriki. He has used the Nine Tails chakra so many times. Sarutobi Hiruzen confirmed Orochimaru's guess, and then said, you should be able to see, your soul has been pulled by me, half of it is out. The soul of the person sealed by this move will never be able to ascend to heaven, and can only stay in the belly of the god of death to suffer. The souls of the sealed person and the person who cast the seal will be entangled forever, hating each other, and fighting forever. While the third generation was telling the story, Orochimaru stared at the god of death behind him with his eyes wide open, watching the god of death behind him take down the short knife in his mouth, and two souls showing the faces of the first and second generations were entangled with the soul of the third generation. With the god of death swinging his knife, the souls were cut off and swallowed directly by it. Hiss. After listening to the description of the third Hokage, you won't be at peace even after death after being hit by this move. From the expressions of those souls just now, it seems to be quite painful. It's chilling to think about it. It's okay to live, but I don't have the courage to continue to suffer after death. The Hokage is cruel enough. So there are 4 Hokage souls in the belly of the death god? They will be entangled in fighting each other forever. Will you, Konoha, add this rule in the future? Every Hokage will be sent to the belly of the death god after death. What a hellish idea. Chapter 125. Orochimaru was frightened by this scene, showing a ferocious expression and shouting at Sarutobi Hiruzen, don't joke. You old thing, don't even think about succeeding. After that, Orochimaru tried his best to control the Kusanagi sword, constantly deepening the injuries of the third generation. The two of them were in a stalemate for a while. The third generation didn't know how long he had persisted. He just felt that time passed abnormally slowly. The only thing that was certain was that he might not have the strength to hold on until he pulled out Orochimaru's soul. Orochimaru is also panicking. Does he really think everything is under control? For an inexplicable reason to attack Konoha, it is natural that he cannot compare with the determination of the third generation Hokage to protect Konoha. It is normal to fail. Although Orochimaru said something high-sounding before, such as making Konoha's windmill turn again, I always feel that he just thought it was fun and did it. It has come to this point. Do I not even have the strength to pull out his soul? Sarutobi Hiruzen kept vomiting blood from his mouth, and he looked at Orochimaru with gritted teeth. Does my old body not even have the strength to fight to the death? Orochimaru also noticed that the third Hokage seemed to be unable to hold on, and a smile of relief appeared on his face. If you were 10 years younger, you could kill me. Seriously injured, with almost exhausted chakra and no physical strength, the third Hokage can still hold on in this situation. This is the responsibility of the leader. As long as you become a Kage, you should be prepared for this. Orochimaru is quite self-aware, but I don't think he needs to be 10 years younger. The third Hokage can succeed by taking a few Binglian pills. In fact, both sides did not perform well in the battle. The third Hokage was timid due to his emotions, and Orochimaru was too playful and didn't take it seriously at all. It's not surprising that the situation turned out like this. After a period of stalemate, Sarutobi Hiruzen could no longer feel the passage of time. Only the Anbu who had been watching the battle outside the barrier from beginning to end knew that the battle had lasted for nearly an hour. It seems. I don't have the strength to extract all your soul. Sarutobi Hiruzen had to admit this. Hearing this, Orochimaru grinned and said, "You are almost dead. Sarutobi teacher. But, your ambition ends here." Sarutobi Hiruzen closed his eyes, then opened them again with a look of no confusion. It took so long? I didn't pay much attention. An hour, even an Iron Man can't stand it. The battle lasted a long time, but the third Hokage wasted some time talking about the truth. Overall, the actual fighting time between the two was about 30 to 40 minutes. That's also very long. Let's not talk about the consumption of physical strength and chakra. It's unbearable to keep the mental tension all the time. The third Hokage still has a backup plan. I thought he would keep hold on till death. You old man, do you still have the strength to save this village as the third Hokage? Look at the current situation. Orochimaru was very disdainful of Sarutobi Hiruzen for still pretending to be a Hokage at this time. In addition to my subordinates, the ninjas of the Sand Village also attacked this village. All of you Konoha ninjas, including women and children, will be killed by us. The plan to destroy Konoha will be completed soon. His entire mouth and chin were stained with blood, but even so, Sarutobi Hiruzen still looked calm. Orochimaru, you don't understand. Don't underestimate the ninjas of this village. Look, Orochimaru is telling the truth. What makes the windmill turn? I think he wants to destroy it. Well, I think he is just talking nonsense here. That is the headquarters of Konoha. Even if it is caught off guard by the combination of Sand Village and Sound Village, as long as the situation is slightly stabilized, the follow-up support will be immediately deployed to the battlefield. It is impossible for some scattered soldiers to completely destroy Konoha. Tsunagakure and Itagakure can only rob some supplies and kidnap some special people. Don't treat all the ninjas in Konoha as dead. Let's not talk about Orochimaru's purpose. What is Tsunagakure's purpose? Just to rob Konoha of a batch of wealth? Is Tsunagakure really that poor now? Tsunagakure has always been so poor. In addition, the current daimyo of the Wind Country is a bit brain dead and keeps cutting funding. Otherwise, do you think Luosha is really idle and goes to dig for gold? At least it won't destroy Konoha? Destroy Konoha? Otherwise the Wind Shadow Raza will definitely go out. The ridicule and teasing did not affect Raza emotionally. The reason for their attack on Konoha was indeed as the barrage guessed. In addition to robbing a batch of wealth to ease the village's finances, they also wanted to use this attack to hit Konoha's prestige. This would not only make the Sand Village famous and attract more missions, but also force the daimyo of the Wind Country to give more funds based on the final results. No matter what the reason, Raza had no reason to refuse the alliance with Orochimaru, but now that it was exposed by the Sky Curtain, it could not continue. Fortunately, the finances of Sand Village have improved a lot recently under the influence of the Sky Curtain, and he can finally sit in the office and work safely. Suddenly I found that Konoha, which has always been known as the first ninja village, is actually a little short of successors. In addition to the Hokage, I can't think of a few people in Konoha who can deal with Orochimaru's attack. That's true. Apart from the third Hokage, the older generation seems to only have those who are his contemporaries, Shimura Danzo and what's their name? Let me see. Mito Kato and Nanutane Kaharu. Danzo is a bit famous, but the other two are only known because of the third Hokage. The third Hokage had such a hard time fighting, so Danzo is definitely no match for Orochimaru. Danzo clenched the cane in his hand with a dark face. How could the old man who had to gasp for breath after walking 2 steps compare with the third Hokage? He was old and strong and was ready to compete for the position of Hokage, not to mention that he had many trump cards in his hands. He could even kill Orochimaru with his life. At the very least, he had the 4-symbol seal that sealed everything. The third Hokage was not even worthy of carrying his shoes. The young and strong generation of Konoha is represented by Jiraiya and Tsunade of the 3 ninjas. Although Kakashi is quite famous, he is still a little young and his strength is still a level lower than that of Orochimaru, don't mention the younger generation. No matter how powerful they are in the future, they can't be the opponent of Orochimaru now. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.